2-minute drill. Highlight reel, let's review. What's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go. That's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back that back, Nat chins, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. The G on the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? Really like that. You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday evening, a loaded Monday evening, where we have plenty of spring scrimmages to maybe overreact to. I tweeted about it. I will be underreacting to all spring games, and I encourage you to do so. Tonight, I'm encouraging you two to do the opposite. I want you to overreact. Give me hot takes. I want to get clipped. I want people mad. Just kidding. I want you to do your job like you normally do. Serious takes about serious spring scrimmage games, except for some where you can only play even fronts and only play too high and couldn't tackle anybody for a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was weird.
We'll talk about that tonight. We got a loaded one for you guys. Lots of observations to get to on the spring game front. We have an Indiana and Bama beef. How about that? I've learned one thing. I would rather Bama fans are nice to me, but I would imagine not nice to beef with. Probably not the contingency on the internet to be trifling with. My fan base that I have interacted with most negatively, probably Florida. Those folks originally, when I first got, and probably due to fault of my own, I don't want to trifle with Florida fans either on the internet. But Alabama fans seem to be the number one not to be trifled with. Let's find out in the chat. Who is the fan base you probably, as a content creator, don't want to frustrate the most? Or as a football coach in this case, don't want to be flustering on the internet? Where should we start? Because we got a load of things to get into. I think we should start by telling the friends to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Let's do that first and foremost. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribing if you haven't already, firing off in the chat and telling a friend about this place. We're on the road to 100K. Need to get there. I feel like I've been saying that for way too long. Maybe tomorrow with a little Texas A&M film study, we can get a good bump. Hey,
That'd be
boys,
nice. Yeah.
That would be nice. The Aggie fans tend to show up for those types of things. So maybe tomorrow be a big day for the subs. Hopefully you can help us today. In order for us to get put in front of new people, I feel like I have to say this every once in a while. In order for us to get put in front of new people, all right, during our live shows, you have to fire off in the chat and make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Let's start with the drama, boys. So Bryant Haynes is Indiana's defensive coordinator, all right? Very active on social media.
Very.
And Ty Simpson doing the rounds during the social medias and the podcast hits and the TV show hits on the way to the NFL draft, as is Caleb Downs. But Caleb Downs not bebopping around. Caleb Downs doing the hosting because the Downs brothers have a podcast together. And they had Ty Simpson on, and there was a clip put out about Ty Simpson basically saying, like, they were shockingly simple. They lined up in the same exact formation for 4 quarters. They were in the same exact spot. They were exactly where they were coached to be, and they whipped our butt, was the sentiment of the statement from Ty Simpson. Any disagreements with that paraphrasing of Ty Simpson's 90-second clip?
I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
No, I think it was accurate.
All right. Now, that led Bryant Haynes to tweet this. Will you show and tell the audience, for those listening at home, exactly how Bryant Haynes felt on the tweeter machine, or X as the kids call it these days?
So I believe this is actually him responding to everybody clowning his first tweet
But this one says, that's all it took to break your entire fan base. Wow, maybe I should have just said boo. No apologies, no compliments. Grow up, folks. He had a bad take, and I said the painful truth. Bounce back better. Hashtag go IU.
All right, so let me find the OG tweet if I can.
I thought I had the OG tweet.
All right, it says adorable. We also saw everything they were doing on every single snap. It's just that we exploited those cues and didn't get frozen and crushed by them. Which was also kind of like basically confirming what it is that Ty Simpson said in the video. Here's the deal. I'm a huge Bryant Haynes football fan. Like the way that defense plays, phenomenal. I have often talked about how like one of the things that creates most curiosity in my football brain is that Indiana defense and how it is that they kind of build the wall while darting and creating havoc and twists and stunts and all that good stuff while maintaining the ability to limit explosives, not give up big plays, all that good stuff. But here's where I am kind of confused, and I think everybody is confused, or at least this is how I feel about Indiana. I've reached a point of confusion and wonderment. Like, I don't understand, because every soundbite I hear is that they do less, both from a practice standpoint, from a hitting standpoint, we don't even use all 15 days in our practices in the spring standpoint. They do less than everybody else. And schematically, they do less than everybody else. And from a blue chip talent standpoint, they've had less than everybody else. Yet, they beat everybody else. I'm very confused. That's what I am. I don't understand the defensiveness from Brian Haynes, other than I do think that entire organization, bubble, football culture of the Indiana Hoosiers is probably still in a time period where they feel like everybody still thinks less of them or doesn't give them their due or whatever. I've reached beyond that point. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I've gone from doubting them constantly to giving them all benefit of the doubt moving forward until proven otherwise. All based off, I don't get it. I don't know how this is working. And I study football for a living. This is what I do. And I can't figure them out as to why they work the way that they do at the rate that they do. It's mystifying.
Yeah, I mean, going back to this comment, I don't understand why you felt like you had to take offense to this. Like, that's obviously what this string of tweets from Bryant Haynes says, is like he's very obviously defending what they did. And even if you're wrong, it's like such a compliment.
One might say he's a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. But like Ty Simpson didn't say anything. Like the fact that they did nothing, like the stats don't lie. Indiana dominated Alabama. The fact that they were doing nothing exotic out of that is even more of a compliment to them, which I think was what Ty Simpson was trying to do.
And Ty also complimented exactly what they preach upon out there is we're going to execute, we're going to do everything right every single snap. And Ty even went as far as to say that they did exactly what we thought they would, but they executed everything every single time, and you're not going to beat somebody when they do that.
It's one of the most interesting and creates the most curiosity in me, because if it were just this simple, if it were, hey, let's be simple, let's be fast, and let's be perfect, and we can beat every team that is better than us, everybody would do it this way, especially in a nature or in a business nowadays where everything costs and we only have so much money at certain places. Like, maybe they're just more tight-lipped than everybody else about how much money they spend. But Indiana is never rumored in any of these articles about, the homie Pete Nakos doing a tremendous job running down these details and how much these rosters cost and getting all this sourced information. The Indiana Hoosiers names are never brought up. And now we know Mark Cuban's involved. We know they give him he gives 7 figures annually from what it sounds like. But that's a long way off from $40 million rosters like some of these schools have. So I'm very interested by what it is they have got going on. I think they need to move past, and this is fans included, they need to move past they're looking down on us thing. No. We're all looking at you like, how's that happening, with wonderment and curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, and to the defense of Indiana fans, there is definitely a sense of everyone's kind of waiting for you to fail. Everyone's kind of waiting for you to fall off. So I respect that they do have a chip on their shoulders still and are taking some of these things as backhanded compliments, but I don't think Brian Haynes needed to do that in this regard.
Yeah, would agree with that.
there was also some additional reporting from Alabama beat reporters about the conduct the Indiana reporters have in the press box. Did y'all see that or find that entertaining?
No, I didn't
No,
hear
I
about
did
this.
not.
Oh, yeah. There was let me tell you a story about the Indiana beat from some Alabama folks about how they basically were up there like making fun of Alabama in the middle of the game. Also hit them with a they were down 38-3 and there was like a completion or something, and an Alabama beat reporter was like, "Man, finally something good to write about." And the Indiana reporter apparently turned around and was like, "Yeah, buddy, chalk that one up for another big win for the SEC." Ha 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 ha. And then kept writing. Like noticeable cheering in the press box, things like that. Just not kind of used to doing this.
Not to do the thing, but that just kind of sounds like people who haven't been there before.
Well, we found this with TCU as well.
Yes, we did.
You and I. I
yes.
mean, at the press conference or at the press box, we were like, okay, these guys don't understand the nature of this, how big this business is normally.
Yeah.
Like how normal this kind of stuff is.
Right,
Yeah.
but I also that's not something the fans need to get up in arms about. Like,
No.
That's from a media standpoint. Yeah, that's unprofessional, but that's like 10 guys in a box.
I just thought it might have been a beef that you guys saw on
No,
top
I
of
didn't
this
see any
beef.
of this.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, there's additional beefage going
I think
on.
I also saw where the wide receivers coach got involved too. I think.
Oh, we love it. We
So,
love it.
I think that they just all banded together. And
Big
were like,
beef
we're
with
gonna talk-
Bama and Indiana.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Let's do some spring game observations. You guys want to?
Yes, would love to.
So here's what I've done. I have taken a team that played this weekend, and I've challenged the boys to take a team that has played this weekend. All right? And we are going to give you a full-fledged rundown as if you have never seen a single solitary snap of this spring game. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
I was about to
thought
say, I got a feeling that if the class were to grade this assignment and professorship right here, I got the best notes. I'm finna give you a 10-minute diatribe on my team.
I don't have a 10-minute diatribe,
Yeah,
but I
neither
do
do
think
It
I
might not
watched-
go 10 minutes. I got 5 strong.
Okay. I think I watched probably one of the more unique spring games. I'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the Michigan Wolverines, and as Brooks mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this is the spring game in which players were not allowed to tackle only for the first quarter. You could not blitz. You had to play even front. So basically they just played 4 down linemen the entire game. And then on top of that, you had to play 2 high safeties. So no overcrowding the box, none of that. So a lot of stipulations with this spring game. So that was a bit interesting.
Can I also add to this? Because I did some reporting of my own. I was watching Devin Gardner and Jake Butt have a podcast together where they talk Michigan Wolverine football. Apparently, according to those guys, this spring game was originally set for no 1s and 2s, only 3s and 4s, and they weren't going to tackle. Bryce Underwood wasn't going to play, and it was just going to be like, hey, let's see what the bottom of the roster looks like, until essentially the boosters were like, hey, buddy, do you know where you're at? That's not going to fly here. We pay a lot of money to see that Bryce Underwood cat. We're going to see him continue. So there were stipulations that were even kind of weirder that, like, why even play was under the stipulations that they
Right.
first gave. It's like, what are y'all doing? And then even this is like, so y'all weren't trying to make it hard at all. So there must have been a tremendous amount of offense and quarterback success, Jonathan.
No, there wasn't.
a
This
minute.
was the unique part. This was
Only
the,
4 downs, no blitzing. We know the coverage because it's too high the entire time. So it's either 2-man, it's either cover 2, or it's either quarters, maybe some 6 if you get in 3-by-1. But we kind of know what's going on. No heavy offensive production.
Not from Bryce Underwood, at least. So the way that they did their spring game is Bryce Underwood just played the first 4 series.
Okay.
So he would go with the Maze team, as they would call it, and then he'd flip over to the other side, and he would play with that unit. So he got the first 4 series, and I think he maybe completed 3 or 4 balls. I don't know how many out of how many attempts, maybe 11 or so. I thought that was interesting. And it was funny, too, because one of the commentators of the game was like, well, they had to play 2 high safeties, so Bryce should know the coverage. And it just didn't lead to a whole lot of success. Now, I'm not blaming that on Bryce Underwood because one of my next notes is, despite the fact that there was only 4 down defensive linemen, the offensive line could not protect on both teams. Like both quarterbacks were scrambling a good bit, didn't have a whole lot of time. Now, I will add that the defensive line for Michigan is one of the deepest rooms on that roster. Like that's where a lot of the promise out of this year's team is, especially defensively. Like, that unit is supposed to carry the team, essentially. They got a lot of dudes up there, so that might have to do with it. But there are some questions about their offensive line. The spring game didn't exactly make those questions disappear. This was the other weird thing. 2 trick plays in the same possession in the first quarter.
With which quarterback?
Bryce Underwood was in.
Wait, what?
Bryce Underwood was in. 2 trick plays, the same series in the first quarter.
It sounds to me like they don't have full they haven't digested the full playbook yet. Because we have to remember, this staff is brand freaking new. This is the first time all these guys have ran these plays, these first 15 practices. So I'm sure they've been installing since they got employed there when they weren't doing extracurriculars. How do you say that? Curriculars. Doing extracurriculars in the locker room. I would imagine they've gotten some install work, but maybe don't want to show anything other than some trick
I
plays?
just thought it was like,
I don't know.
Maybe don't air that one out in the first quarter.
2 years in a row.
Because, like, especially someone like me, I watched the first 30 minutes of this spring game, and I was able to find 2 trick plays that they ran. One was a double reverse, and one was essentially a flea flicker. And neither one of them ultimately were successful, I would say. So that was interesting. Now, the biggest positive I did take away outside of the defensive line for Michigan was Savion Hyder did show some of that 5-star flash. Now, he only had, I think, 46 rushing yards, limited number of carries, but you could see the promise there. You could see, like, what you were buying into out of high school. Very physical runner, broke multiple tackles. He looks like he's going to be something for them. I don't know what it's going to look like this year, because if the offensive line play was any indication of what it's going to be like this year, I just don't know how much success we'll have on the ground, but Bryce Underwood certainly helps influence that. And then my biggest concern going into this season kind of showed up too in this one of I just don't know what the weaponry looks like for them. And that also was indicative on their first series that I saw, or first 2 series, I should say, where it's a lot of tight end usage, or at least that's who Underwood was targeting most of the time. Didn't really see wide receivers getting involved, and that was my biggest question for them of where are the playmakers at? Well, looks like maybe the tight end room, but wide receivers just don't know.
I'm going to try. I got a lot of things to do before Thursday's first-round draft, but I'm going to try to go skim it myself. I might have gotten interneted. I saw some 3-minute clip of all, quote-unquote, all of Bryce Underwood's throws. Maybe it was just all of the quote-unquote bad ones. I saw a lot of random resetting in the pocket. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Where we get to the top of our drop and we kick back another extra step for no reason. We're sick. We're bigger than anybody in front of us. We can see. We don't need extra room. Thought that was interesting. Did you see anything else? Like, I know you're not the QB wizard, but, like, did you see any issues?
No, I wouldn't say I saw any issues with him. I mean,
because the internet hated it. I'm just gonna let you know.
Look, there was a couple.
The internet hated it.
There was a couple of errant throws. There's one throw where he throws into triple coverage.
He dusts the speed out. I saw that one.
Yeah, that's one of the throws I'm talking about. One of his incompletions, like I just mentioned, was essentially in triple coverage, like super tight window, super competitive. Like, good on you for being willing to throw it. We got the horsepower to throw it, but on game day, probably not where we need to be going with the ball.
Okay.
I mean, again, he got 4 series, and it was just a limited action for him. But in those 4 series, it just didn't look fantastic, I should say.
I don't understand what the point of doing that type of format is. Like running coverages where your defense is hindered because they're –
I'm going to tell you who don't believe in it, the team I'm about to talk about in Texas A&M. Texas A&M let that defensive staff throw the sink. I'm talking about out here on 3rd down – showing 5, walked, and then firing the nickel, dropping a nose tackle, bringing both backers, like throwing the kitchen sink at young running backs. I felt like Oklahoma's defense was doing similar things. Now, Georgia's not one of these heavy exotics anyways. They kind of line up and play football defensively in the front core. But, yeah, I'm not here for this. Let's try to simulate a 85% game.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
I don't like this. I went on this big rant on Feinbaum today. I want to take the way I watched A&M practice today, I don't know if they're going to be a playoff football team, but they're going to be freaking good. They're going to be tough to beat because of how physical they practice. They obviously practice that way. And I want to talk about that right now. I got a big day in Aggieland tomorrow. We'll have a film study coming up right around, I don't know, Jonathan, probably 10:30. I've already got the graphics, so we ain't got to wait on graphics. Probably come out 10:30 Eastern, 11:30 Eastern. I'll be on Texags Live with David Nuno. We'll be talking about this. I'll give you the rundown right now. I watched the first half. They took a pretty tough injury right there before the half to the linebacker. I'm mistaking his name. Number 27, Sanford. He's probably going to be out for a little while. It looked like he broke his leg.
Yeah, I heard about
Got folded back pretty bad on a run play. Typical football injury. It wasn't a non-contact injury. This was a bracing for impact, foot slid out from underneath us, weight of the impact kind of folded us back, ended up snapping our leg pretty good. So we'll talk about that and what it means for that room. I'm going to give you the early spoiler. To me, guys, it's going to be a very similar take to what I said about Noah Rodgers in the wide receiver room at Bama. If there's any room that they could sustain an injury, it's probably linebacker. They've recruited this position exceptionally well. They have really, really good depth, one of which I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But when you watch that spring game, to me, if you're an Aggie fan, I would look at that and go, good Lord, we spent some good money, except for one spot, and I'm going to talk about that. But we spent some good money. Anto Saka. I'm about to call him Antonio. Anto Saka wears number 14 for Texas A&M. He is a transfer from Northwestern, and they got some type of eye for these edge rushers, guys, because they nailed Cassius Howell for 2 straight years, and this one's going to hit and be a big-time player for them, I think, in Anto Saka. He was getting after Wilkin Formby pretty damn good and all damn day long. So I'm looking out for that. I've been talking about Isaiah Horton all offseason and talking about how they needed this. They needed an X body type. Also been talking about how excited I am to watch Isaiah Horton play X again. I thought Alabama did the right thing in playing him at a Z position and kind of highlighting Jeremy Bernard, because Jeremy Bernard's a great football player, especially for what they do at Alabama. All the motions, all the football player stuff that they got to do with Jeremy, and then let him play X. But now Isaiah's getting to play true X, outside the numbers by himself. One-on-one coverage, go be an animal. And that's exactly what he was on Saturday in that scrimmage. Back shoulder balls, jumping over people, circus catches, yards after the catch on deep overs. Isaiah Horton's stock is need to be purchased stuff, and I've already done most of that. How would you pronounce this name? Because I'm Mr. Butcher at these things. Tawfiq. Tawfiq Buford is a transfer from Colorado, a safety. My man is sticking. My man is running downhill like he ain't got a care in the world. Out here striking and playing like Saturday was the Super Bowl. And why it stood out to me was I remember number 3, the starter at that kind of box safety that they play a split safety coverage, and one of them kind of plays short side and he rolls into the box a lot and has to play run support. But that number 3 last year was really, really good. This transfer they got from Colorado looks like his twin brother, and both of them absolutely roll downhill and strike people. I'm talking about lighting stuff up near the line of scrimmage. And what stuck out to me was the fact that I'm watching them play a spring game, and we get done talking about, only got to play too high, can't blitz, we're going to tag off. We're going to tag off like 65% of our scrimmage. Hey, we're not going to do this. We're only going to take 60 snaps. We're going to play half 7-on-7. And then you turn on that tape of a playoff team from last year, and they're out there playing again. The transfer is playing like it's a Super Bowl. And I think that says a lot about what it means to practice at that place, what it means to play defense at that place. And ultimately, it shows up every time you turn on Texas A&M defense. Apart from that one time they gave up 40 to Notre Dame, but that's a side quest. I was really impressed by Mr. Buford, as was Brandon Arrington, the 5-star freshman. Okay, that guy, he gonna be a dude already. Now Desmond Ricks, I got corrected by A&M fans. I thought Desmond Ricks was so good he was probably in the draft this year. He is not. He is back at A&M, and he is probably one of the better, corners returning in the conference. And then you add on this freshman who I think is going to have to play. Guys, there's a play I'm going to show you tomorrow where he's in bump and run coverage against another great freshman, Aaron Gregory, and the ball is dropped into a bucket. Okay, perfect coverage, perfect ball, and Brandon Arrington reaches over and just punches that shit out. Incompletion. And then about 4 or 5 plays later, he's sitting in cover 3. They run an out route, 10 to 12 speed turn, and he sees it, triggers, and absolutely goes and lights that wide receiver up. He is going to be really, really good as a true freshman, as is Aaron Gregory. I'm down on the Formby stock. Down on the Formby stock. especially when I found out how much they paid. I told him, any guesses on how much I was told today that Wilkin Formby got out of the portal this year?
Was it 7 figures?
I was gonna, I don't know, like 1.2.
That's a good guess, Jonathan. Try tacking on another $500,000.
Okay, 1.7.
Yeah. Interesting to me personally, having watched him a lot. He's played a lot of ball, and it's been serviceable. I wouldn't say it's 1.7 good, but anyways, there's that. Like I said, the linebacker injury to Sanford really sucks, but they're pretty deep there. I thought that the sophomore Noah Michael, who I think we watched out of high school, was a highly touted linebacker. I think it was between A&M and Notre Dame and big-time prospects at the linebacker position, and really good tape. This dude plays physical. Now, he did get beat on a hole runner where he's got to turn and run with speed at number 3, kind of exposed his physical limitations, if there are any. But, man, I'm going to show you some clips tomorrow of him running through people's face. He can definitely play the run. They're going to be all right there. I was wondering what they were going to feel like offensively because, obviously, Colin Klein left and went to Kansas State. They feel the same, okay? They feel 12 personnel, 2 wide receivers outside the number like they did last year, heavy RPO out of that formation. Also doing a lot of stack releases with Mario Craver, very similar to what they were doing last year with Casey Concepcion. That's a good thing because I think they need to maintain offensive continuity with their quarterback in Marcel Reed, who there looks to be some growth there. I didn't see a ton of like real reps from him. We did flush a pocket or two, but I think that's more because we feel like we can't see in there. Like I wrote a note today. They're running a mesh concept, and he's sitting inside the pocket, 2 wide receivers running this way. Okay, we're trying to get the ball out into the flat, and he feels like he can't quite throw over the guard and the D tackle. So he flushes the pocket, gets outside, and kind of flicks it to the guy. But the problem is we're running ourselves into the boundary, and we're taking away the yak on the mesh play. Like things like that. And that's why being 6'5" helps.
Yep.
Because all that stuff feels more comfortable, and being 6'2" is a little bit of a quote-unquote detriment to a lot of these, scouting processes and tools. But Lord knows he's athletic enough to get out of every pocket that there is. They got a bunch of good-looking young line of scrimmage defenders. Guys that I was pretty high on coming out of high school, so I'm biased there. Like Tristan Givens is going to be really good in a couple years for them. Bryce Perry-Wright could probably play for a lot of SEC teams now. I don't know if he'll be a first-round twitchy like freak when he's done, but he's already ready to go. Ruben Owens has gotten a lot bigger, which brings me to their strength and conditioning program. I tweeted about this today. They do it right. Every kid out there, I don't know if it's the unis, I don't know if it's something they got going. Every kid out there looks like they spend months in the weight room.
Not a Colorado situation?
No. Like, even Isaiah Horton looks like he has never looked better.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like, this is going to sound crazy. You ought to see the quads on Julian Humphrey.
Huh.
Like, wait till you see it. I'm saying, like, all these kids look incredible. I tweeted this out today, and I was let known quickly by Aggieland. Tommy Moffitt, the strength and conditioning coordinator, is the GOAT, apparently. This is, like, the guy in strength and conditioning and coordinating. So, there's that. I told you, man, they strike. If I were a fan of this football team, I would enjoy watching them 7 days a week. You know how much I watch ball, and if I don't enjoy watching, I ain't gonna watch it. I would watch the hell up out of that defense and that football team as a whole. They're fast, violent, and chaotic on defense. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. I told you they'll be okay at linebacker. I think 54 is a dude. I think 0 is a dude. I think 21 is playable. They'll be okay. How about their backup? If Arrington does start next to Ricks, how about their other corners, Ricky Gibson and Julian Humphrey? Those guys have started games at big-time SEC football programs.
Starters.
Third and 4-year players, too.
And I'm saying they'll probably start over Arrington or get playing time over Arrington, but good God almighty, how deep is that room? My only questions right now is, are they good enough at offensive line and tight end? That would be my only question. That's my rundown on A&M.
Thank you for that rundown.
I think I did good. How did I do, class?
Good job.
Okay.
Good job. All right, my rundown was the Oklahoma Sooners, and unfortunately,
Boomer!
Unlike you guys, they did not have
Sooner!
the full broadcast that you could watch on there. I believe Fox put the full game up. Texas A&M had theirs on ESPN Plus. I had to find certain clips, so not as much coverage that you can see. It's all ground level clips, so could not get as an extensive of a view.
Quick question: how was the in-house DJ's performance?
That's what I was about to get to. They played music the entire time. Very interesting. This was very much ran like a traditional practice where we're going to go out and we're going to run some plays. It's all clips as well, so it's nothing like you got the entire broadcast. So I couldn't really see what they're doing, what the structure was, but very interesting that the entire time you're seeing highlights, you've got, DJ Got Us Falling in Love Tonight by Usher playing in the background.
Hell yeah.
Very unique
Hell yeah.
to watch a football game.
You know, I'd be kind of ticked off going all off season, not hearing the crack of the helmets or the crack of the pads, and then go out there and have to hear, whatever song. Can't hear the ball. I want to hear the football.
That's fair. So the first note I have from this was it seemed like a very much of a push and pull of both sides making mistakes. You had some busted coverages on the defense, and then 2 plays later, the A-gap blitzer is completely untouched, and it's a simulated sack. Now, they did not blow anything dead. John Mateer was able to kind of run around and do his thing still. I guess that's just to simulate him making plays, because if you're just touching John Mateer, you're not probably sacking him. So felt like there was very much a back and forth between the offense and defense. John Mateer had a really, really good day statistically. He was 12 for 19, 192 yards, had a passing touchdown, like I said, made some nice plays with his legs, had a couple of lengthy runs. I think that he might be getting comfortable in that system right now. And again, it's a spring game. It's a scrimmage. It's very, very hard to tell. My big takeaway from this, though, and I feel very confident in saying this, Rocky Beers might be a guy for them.
Is this serious? You're being serious?
I'm being serious.
Okay.
He's the Colorado State tight end, 6'5", 235. Had 4 catches for 65 yards in this game. Was explosive.
Name?
Rocky Beers.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just the all like as American as it
Jay
gets.
Will didn't sniff that one out.
Too basic. It's too easy.
It is a very basic name, but you know what? Sometimes simple is the best. Had a lot of strong runs in the running game. I know last season we kind of hoped that Oklahoma's running game would take a step forward. They become more explosive. Didn't necessarily get that. This spring scrimmage, we had a bunch of good carries. They had 47 total rushes for 172 yards. That's about 4.6 yards per carry in this game. So strong rushing performances all the way around. Now, on the adverse of that, when you do have strong rushing performances and you do get these explosive runs, the other side is the defense. I got to be honest, and we give him the benefit of the doubt, this defense looks a little bit slower than last year's, and they certainly did not tackle as well. Now, again, it's a spring scrimmage. Take it with a grain of salt. We don't know how much tackling they were doing before this. You'd have to imagine that they're going to get a lot of tackle circuit going throughout the summer months and in the lead up to the fall games, but the Oklahoma defense did not look fantastic today from a physical standpoint.
Chat brought up a top 5 sound. Crack of the pads being top 5 sounds. I just wrote top 5 sounds. You want them?
Yeah, sure. Let's hear it.
Number 5, a good flushed iron, on a golf course. You know what I mean? Number 4, any lawnmower. Just lawnmower's good sound.
Any lawnmower.
I appreciate a good lawnmower.
Even the electric ones?
Yep. No.
So
Got to be
any-
motorized, preferably a Honda.
Well,
Number 3,
motorized.
a good swish. With swish of the net. College swish, too, when it hits the back iron, the little clank. Ooh,
Yeah.
love that. Number 2, crack of the pads. Number 1, any guesses?
It's either the baseball hitting the sweet spot of the mitt.
Ooh, crack of the mitt. Little
Yeah.
pop of the mitt, Jonathan. Ooh, a lot pop of
Okay.
the mitt. I am going baseball, crack of the bat. Continue
okay.
with Oklahoma.
That was all I had.
Oh, that was good. I was making
weren't-
sure I
weren't
didn't
listening?
introduct you
No,
or
you're
interrupt you.
I'm glad you specifically mentioned in that the college rims.
Buddy, it
not
sounds
NBA.
so great.
Way
Also,
better.
the dunks sound way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Absolutely
Ooh.
agree.
Ooh, that's bringing back childhood. Flick of the lighter. I say childhood.
Childhood.
Because Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
Okay.
You know you's finna get some heat. See? Joshua Armstrong, ball knower in the chat. All right, we good on the spring games?
I believe so.
Anything from Texas? Apparently I got 40 minutes worth of clips from the
See,
fans coming my way.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good to know. Because, I saw stuff on my timeline from Texas's spring game, but then I saw stuff like, Arch Manning threw 4 interceptions today.
Troll.
Yeah. I was like, this got to be a troll.
He actually got set really – I don't think he played.
Yeah, I know.
I
He
saw
like
from
hardly
I
took
think
any
from
reps.
CJ Vogel. I think CJ Vogel said Arch Manning and Diabell did not take any snaps.
Yeah, I think Diabell was injured. And
Cam
then Arch
Coleman did
was-
not play.
Okay, so I saw them doing warm ups and stuff like that. but-
Yeah, I saw Raleek Brown highlights. I saw Rasheem Biles highlights. About it.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Will Muschamp. That was what I saw the most of.
Big boom.
Of Will, like one clip is Will Muschamp hugging a player and tapping him on the helmet, and then the next is him screaming and cursing, like peak Will Muschamp. Made me miss him, dude.
Who else had Auburn? We'll talk about them in stock up, stock down.
Yeah,
Non-televised. Interesting. I got some good things on Auburn tonight, but
a lot of the Big Ten are gonna go on the 25th.
okay.
So there's like,
And you said they're televised on all of those, huh?
they're
Well, so if you are televising it, or maybe if you aren't, I don't know. But the Big Ten is uploading the full game. They're like the Big Ten YouTube channel is uploading the full game for Ohio State, Nebraska, and Michigan so far.
Hell yeah.
Like the
Good on
entire
them.
game.
So then,
I'm
yeah.
talking about even the pregame antics.
Good on them. I'm sure SEC coaches have SEC Network up on their TVs inside the buildings quite often. It's probably not with audio, but I gave quite a passionate rant about that today. I think it's such horse crap that these fans are asked to fund these rosters and then don't get to see them. I think that's horse crap. You know what I mean?
it's a fair take.
So, because all we've done the last 5 years is turn around and say, "Hey fan, can I have some more money? Hey fan, I need a new D tackle. Hey fan, I need this." But no, you can't see them in the spring unless you come. By the way, pay another ticket price to come get in the building. So yeah, don't love that. I would like these to be like the Big Ten. Good on them. You know what? Matter of fact, Tony Petitti and the Big Ten. Let's give them 3. Just to make sure y'all don't think I'm some SEC hack around here. I gotta give
That's why I
credit
watched
to the Big
Michigan
Ten every once
spring
in a while.
game.
That's right. That's right. We watched Michigan. I'm gonna take a peep at Ohio State. Heard some great things about Tavion St. Clair. Told you. Little toe-to-so
Oh,
right
I
there.
told Kirby in the
Little
press
toe-to-so.
box. The first tweet I saw was Tavion St.
Oh,
Clair hitting
dude.
Chris Henry Jr. in
Over
stride.
with.
I was
Over
like,
with.
Oh, there goes Julian Sain's
Did
job.
it get bad enough? Or did it get good enough for St. Clair where they were starting to tweet, "Hey, maybe this 10's not the guy. Maybe we need to go with 9.
All it took was one play.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Okay.
That's all.
Little 60-yard bomb, and then it was like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and probably like going back to your topic of why they don't show these spring games, probably that's because all it takes is one highlight, and all of a sudden, backup quarterback's got to be the starter. And in an era where you're dealing with bonuses and raises and players potentially entering the transfer portal, like it's another added stressor that I'm sure head coaches don't want.
Pine Sol. Hey, spring stock check. Let's do it. You ready? So we're going stock up, stock down on any college football topic you want. You ready? I'm indifferent on Tennessee, which means I'm probably stock down coming out of the spring.
I would say stock down.
Yeah, I wanted to hear some warm and fuzzies about a quarterback. It's good to have. I don't hear outrageous optimism out of either of these guys. I don't hear somebody's like grab the horns of the room. I don't hear anything. And then y'all know my thoughts on the spring game. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to get some warm and fuzzies out of the volunteer spring, and I don't feel like I got that.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our bigger purchases on the defensive side of the football didn't really participate, is what it sounds like.
And here's the thing that worries me most about that is that Tennessee fans are traditionally a very proud fan base. They traditionally have a lot of hype and support around that.
Oh, if there's anything to be optimistic about, normally they're heavy on it.
I mean, like there's a running joke that like, oh, it feels like 98 because Tennessee fans so oftenly kind of reference that. You got none of that this offseason. Like it was very much quiet, and maybe they're just changed, but
Maybe our algorithms were just too filled with Florida optimism.
could be that. But like I did not feel much Tennessee optimism at all. It was a lot of like, well,
Where my Vol fans at in the chat? Help me out. At least cook us if we're wrong. Tell me if you're like super bullish on what's going on, or if you're just kind of it's just like a spring for you. Because for us, I felt like it was a spring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Like we didn't even hear like, oh my God. Like we heard about Aaron Gregory. We've heard about Caden Prothro. We've heard about Sedarian Morgan. We didn't even hear anything about Tristan Keys.
I was about to say I didn't see anything about Tristan Keys or anything like that.
We saw a couple of viral clips from David Sanders. That's good.
Yeah, well, one of them was mostly people thinking it was a bad clip.
Yeah,
too,
I
though.
mean,
But that's
we
debatable.
negated. That's beside the point.
Debatable.
We're trying to get some optimism here.
No, I agree. I mean, Christian's right. I mean, usually Tennessee fans are one of the more optimistic fan bases you'll find. Like every offseason, it's complete reset button. Everything is focused on this year. Like the lights are shining. Everything is perfect. But this offseason has felt a whole lot different for them. But maybe that's just them settling in with reality, which may not be a bad thing either. We've talked about how Tennessee fans might need to have a bit of a reality check.
Yeah, I think another team, and I can't believe I'm putting them on this. I'm kind of very slightly, very smallly putting Clemson as a riser.
I'll get the montage
A
ready.
riser.
Not from the standpoint of I think they're going to be great this year, not from the standpoint of I think Clemson's going to be back, but it kind of sounds like they're getting things ironed out with the roster. I think that the potential we were looking at was like, oh, this could be a losing season for Dabo, like they might not be bowl eligible. I think it's much closer. It'll be a 7-5, 8-14.
So I didn't go with Clemson, but I went with Christopher Vizina.
Yeah, and that's a large reason why.
After watching the quarterback study that we did on him, like I'll admit it, I was not familiar with his game at all. Had no idea what to expect going into that film study. I think they're in a lot better spot at quarterback than maybe what many would perceive, like not knowing anything. Like
The Tate Reynolds hype is real, it sounds like.
So I think that for me, like I'm a lot higher on Vizina going into this season than I was prior to that. Like going into this offseason, I was like, Clemson's cooked. They ain't got nobody in the quarterback room. Vizina's winnable. He is absolutely winnable.
The Tramel Jones stock could not be any higher.
Yeah.
It's through the roof. I disclaimer all over again because I've seen Auburn people fall for this with their backup. Now, there are Byron Browns of the world. There are Gunnar Stocktons of the world. There are folks whose arm mechanics don't look pretty. But I do this pretty frequently. I see quarterbacks at a really, really high rate. I go see a lot of kids throw nowadays. Pretty much everybody can spin the shit up out the football nowadays. I'm just going to let you know. So go ahead. Like if you're a beat reporter and you're going out to practice and you're like, wow, he throws it well. Almost all of them do nowadays just go to an Elite 11. It does not – it is not the ultimate separator at the position. They all throw it really pretty. They really do. It is the rare examples of folks that don't nowadays. So I don't know when that started. I don't know when that became a thing. Maybe it's because kids stopped multi-sporting. They started to privatize their training at a really, really high rate at a really early age, particularly at the quarterback position. But almost all of these guys are really, really clean nowadays when you go watch them. The only thing that like is differentiating is like, oh, he's either big enough or strong enough or not. You know what I mean? But it all comes out pretty quickly. Sorry. I said that because the Tramel Jones thing, it's real. The ball comes out great.
Oh, I mean,
Philo does not look as pretty throwing the football.
Let's be real. That is what spring scrimmages are decided upon. That is how people judge quarterback rooms and who they think is the best quarterback in the room. Of can you throw it really pretty and do you look pretty doing it? And if you do, that's where all of the attention is going to go. It doesn't matter about anything else.
I just can't tell you how many times I hear now, like, you ought to just see it come out of his hands. Like, yeah, buddy, I'm telling you right now, they all spin it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have Auburn as a faller because of that. Not only because of Byron Brown, but I just there's not a lot of. And I get it, it's the first year on there, but there's a lot of things I would say are not being done correctly.
Before we cook, can I say something that I like?
Go ahead.
I like the fact that they're letting DJ Durkin throw the kitchen sink at this offense. I do like that. I like that they're not kid gloving him because here's the deal. He's going to have to play SEC defenses. That's the biggest question about this guy and this offense, right? Can y'all take – because most of their USF transfers are from the offensive side of the football. Can those guys come up to this level and play SEC football? They're getting a great run at it with a really, really high-end defense every single day and a great defensive coordinator, DJ Durkin. That's what I do like hearing. I like hearing that they're not kid gloving him. Here's what I don't like. I don't like hearing the coach on practice 15 tell me that his starting quarterback, quote-unquote, didn't really see it well. And the interception he threw was, to me, catastrophic for a year 3 starter. Yeah. We are working left side. We just spin over to the right and let it rip without seeing, looking, anything. We throw it right into the face of a backside hook defender. That type of stuff is like, whoa, hey, terrifying. But he's going to run the ball 18 times a game. Mm-hmm. So I'm not all that caught up on that. Just don't turn the ball over. Right. We just got to stop doing that.
Right, and I know everybody wants to talk about the throwing motion. Like that's the viral clip.
It's talk aboutable.
Oh, absolutely.
It's probably the worst I've seen.
Oh, I would definitely agree with that. But, to be fair, like, this isn't a guy that Auburn is taking a chance on that's a true freshman. We haven't seen him do it at the college level. We've seen him do it at the college level, and it's produced. By the way, it's produced against Power 4 football teams like Auburn, Miami, Florida. Like, it's produced against these opponents.
Alabama.
Before. So, like, yeah, it looks funky. It's not right. It's not how you would mechanically teach anybody how to throw a football. But up to this point, it's gotten good results.
Looks like he's trying to put it in his back pocket.
Yeah, it's a very unique motion. Like it's like it has to start from here, but he holds the ball here, so he has to go.
What's even crazier about it is the whole goal to throw a football is to get in what I call like you got to lay it back. Like we got to get in a layback, and starting all the way back here is kind of counterproductive to trying to get to here. We got to get to here and then get through the football. It's crazy.
It
looks honestly, it makes me think he has like some type of shoulder thing that like we have to kind of cock it to get it in it.
Damn, that's no. I wasn't even saying that. It's like the fact that the motion looks like that, you have to like, oh, he might be injured. It's like it's tough.
I mean, shit, it looks painful.
Yeah. It
but
does.
hey, again, he gonna run that rock. You're gonna have to tackle this dude before you have to pick him off. You're gonna get opportunities to intercept him, I would imagine, but it's about tackling him first. When we go into the scouting report. What else you got for me, boys? Because I had Auburn, too.
I have Keelan Russell as a big riser. Like, we came into the offseason kind of like saying, hey, Austin Mack might be the guy.
I forgot something.
Go ahead.
You should never, ever give a speech to your team in front of public cameras. Go.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't like that.
That's fair. But no, I think Keelan Russell is a major riser of this. And this is the spring game bump. Throw a couple of really impressive plays, have a solid day, and everyone wants you to be quarterback one. But we did come into the year kind of saying, kind of leaning Austin Mack might be the safer pick here. And it seems like they have a full-fledged quarterback battle going on right now in Alabama. So Keelan Russell, definitely a riser.
So I put Oklahoma State as a riser, but really this is just me talking about Drew Mestemaker. He's the reason why I would say that they're a riser so far.
You can spin it, huh?
Yeah, the clips that were posted this weekend from their spring game look super promising. So that's really it for Oklahoma State. I put them as the biggest riser, though, because I don't know how much more you could rise Drew Mestemaker stock coming into this season, because the dude led the nation in passing last year. And I know that was at North Texas, but the hype is real.
You don't think he's a breakout player?
I wasn't going to do that, but you did. So, yes, that's why I put Oklahoma State, not Drew Mestemaker. He is a known commodity in college football. He's a really good quarterback.
If we led the nation in passing, what does a breakout season look like?
Heisman.
No. We got to break passing records.
Yeah, Heisman.
Cole Brennan.
Heisman.
See ya. Has he still got the record? Who's got the season passing record?
I have no idea. Let's
Didn't
look it up.
Burrow pass it?
No.
Burrow threw for like 5,700 yards in 2019.
I got a feeling it's 5,900.
I mean, could be.
We'll get an answer on that quickly.
Oh, yeah, Bailey Zappi.
Oh, yeah.
Western Kentucky.
That's
Yes.
right.
Did he go for 6?
He threw for 5,967 yards.
Wow.
Man, I bet there's a cup. I bet he could probably go back and find 30 yards of yak that should have been had, or maybe
sure.
a couple. Like that's one play getting called back from a 6K season.
High five to anybody who can name the other three in the top four.
Cole Brennan?
Nope.
Burrow's definitely the top.
Nope.
four. Really? He had 5,700.
Nope. There's two Texas Tech quarterbacks on here.
Graham Harrell?
Graham Harrell is one of them. He threw for 5,705. Number 2 is B.J. Simons from 2003.
Graham Harrell had a howitzer.
Yeah.
Case Keenum is the fourth one from Houston.
Not a howitzer. Just a good ball player. Can
Yep.
spin it. Let's see here. The Bryce Underwood thing was interesting. I got to go watch that before I comment on it. Kentucky seems to have at least life to the program.
They got recruiting momentum, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think that.
You know why? You know
Yeah,
why,
you
Jonathan?
told me this morning, and golly, I'm glad it's not just one coach that I'm now concerned about. There's another on the
No
list.
quarter
now.
zips.
Wait, what?
You haven't seen this?
No. I've been
Now, look, it was one of many things, but he was asked. Will Stein, the head coach of Kentucky, was asked like, "Hey, how are you guys recruiting so well?" And he's like, "Well, I think we're just really relatable as a staff. I mean, for example, like I don't wear quarter zips and khakis. I just dress like a ball coach, and I got a lot of like-minded people around me, and I think they gravitate towards that.
What do you mean by that, Coach?
He's not a quarter zip guy.
Yeah, what do you mean by like relating to people because you don't wear quarter zips?
He don't wear quarter zips and khakis in the office. He strictly wears T-shirts and gym shorts. That's why they're recruiting well.
Good for him.
He's relatable.
I'm glad that he found the secret sauce.
Yeah, that is like the hot sauce. That's what it feels like.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I would rather maybe quarter zips and khakis than like not wearing shoes in the office.
I mean, just wear whatever you like feel comfortable in.
Yeah,
Like,
he's comfortable around people. I think he's relatable. That's why he's having success. That was his key.
I guess, man. Good for him. But no, I think the optimism around Kentucky is like you have a fresh face after 15 years. Like it's kind of like that. And the face you had for those 15 years kind of tapered off towards the end.
You know what's really interesting? We had like really, really smart people who are like really good at their job, and like lots of them that over the last, I don't know, 2 seasons have picked DJ Lagway, the Florida Gators, and Billy Napier to be fringe playoff teams.
Right.
And now they actually have like really, really, really good coaching, in my opinion. Where is they should be a playoff team year one optimism?
Oh,
Because there were people with heavy optimism with the roster last year. And I think the roster is better and the coaching is better.
Well, I think that what you have to take into consideration is, for starters, while
Is
the
that
quarter
Lagway hype?
Lagway hype, that's certainly a real thing. Like, you're talking about a former 5-star prospect that had shining moments in the season prior to last year. Like, there were moments where it looked like, oh, it's there. Like, if everything clicks, this could be something special.
And then about 3 snaps later, he hits a linebacker in the face.
Yes. And then, but this year, the quarterback room, which is like the biggest deciding factor, I would say, for a lot of people when it comes to picking potential playoff teams and like places that you really want to hop on the hype machine for. And Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones are very talented, but we just don't know anything about them yet as like a full-time starter.
yeah, and I mean also like I think that people are kind of burnt out on the Florida Gators hype. Like we've seen quote unquote good coaching here before. We've seen they've got a lot of momentum. They've got a really, really strong guy in there. He's right for the job. I feel like Florida's at a point now where you kind of have to prove it before we just start buying in because, again, it's been about out of the last 15 years, 14 of them have been underwhelming. So, and even in 2020, like that team significantly underperformed based on what they were the first 5 games of the year.
I didn't see much from Miami's spring game that they had at their practice facility.
No, I think that was very much a
private
a
event.
formality type deal.
Private event, formality, stuff like that. We got a couple side quests. You guys want to hit, or do y'all have any more stocks?
Colorado definitely down. I'm like
You felt the need to throw that one in, huh?
it has to be mentioned.
Okay.
Like they're at fault. I think this is Deion's last year.
Hey, Cornhusker fans in the chat, any Calandria hype from the spring game? I didn't see Will Compton tweeting out playoff.
Well, they
stuff.
played theirs a while ago, didn't they?
I don't know.
The Calandria.
I'm waiting to hear some Calandria hype.
Well, the Calandria clip of like I've never been in a stadium with this many people was like.
You want to hear a nug, Cornhusker fans? It is not guaranteed that Dylan Raiola is the 2 at Oregon.
Like
he might be the 3.
Like he might get beat out for the backup.
That's tough.
yikes.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I think there's a little bit of a
Here's a really interesting
like this
question.
is my team next year, so I can just kind of do whatever I want type of deal going on.
So say this happens. Let's go down a rabbit hole just for a little bit for me. Like,
Yeah.
Say this happens. Dylan Raiola is now the number 2 or the number 3 quarterback on Oregon's roster. Now, this is his 3rd year of college football. Mm-hmm. Do you just declare? You got 2 years of tape?
No.
5-star prospect.
No. You take $2.5 million from Duke or whoever's going to give it to you and leave. The guy that threw the pro day, I don't know, I forget his name. He wears 3 for them. He could throw. He's like a good player.
What if he did?
Huh?
What if he did? He gets beat out at Oregon, doesn't play at all. Like, I'm not playing next year, and he's like, I'm eligible.
Okay.
You're on the UDFA list, buddy.
I hope.
No, he would get drafted.
No, Jeff Christensen would
he
call
would
in a
get
favor.
drafted.
Jeff Christensen would call in a favor. Something would happen. He would be a 5th-round draft pick. It would happen.
I mean, he's got 24 starts.
Someone called him Dillon Apartments. That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. It's disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, it's more of a test. It's more of the sourcing I got was like, hey, not going great, but I took it more as the other kid's playing good.
Okay.
That's the way I
Who
would
is
take it.
the other kid?
It's a great question. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay, well that's.
I didn't I was wondering I didn't even know he was actually like healthy and ready to play yet. To be honest.
I mean, the ACL injury was what, mid-October?
Oh, he's at practice. They got clips of him spinning it.
Okay.
He's out there.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I mean, he will be a caution. If things do not get better, he will certainly be a cautionary tale of the NIL high-profile big era because he was very highly touted.
Sir, Bryce Underwood is going to be the poster child for that.
No,
Not from a standpoint of, holy crap, we spent $12 million.
right, but from a standpoint of, this kid bounced around
You're
all
talking
high
about the horror stories of the NIL and transfer portal type stuff.
Well, I'm talking about like a cautionary tale of like, hey, this kid consistently moved schools. He committed a bunch of times. That's the cautionary tale in the era of where you can just players feel like they can transfer wherever they want. Like Bryce Underwood is a completely different story of, hey, we paid millions of dollars. I think Nico Iamaleava is this. So that's what I'm saying as far as a cautionary tale. Like he'll be labeled as like, oh, is he one of the biggest busts in college football history? Like, which is unfortunate, but it will happen if things don't get
I
better.
want to say Brock Thomas is the kid's name out there at Oregon.
That's a Rocky Beers adjacent name.
Brock Thomas. He's from Eugene.
Brock Thomas and Rocky Beers, dude.
Not speaking to me.
All right.
It's not speaking
You're the
to me
name-
right now.
you're
I'm
the
sorry.
name.
Not hitting the funny bone.
Nope.
All right.
I'm still hung up on my homie Minicucci up there.
Mini Coochie?
You hung
Nick
up on
Minicucci.
Minicucci?
I'm hung up on Nick Minicucci. He's gonna light it up this year. Trust me.
Guys, did y'all know that Miami offered $6.5 million to Ty Simpson?
It
Yeah.
didn't surprise me.
And I think that this has been mentioned before.
Yes, it
Like,
has.
like-
I think it was more like, hey, somebody offered me 6.5,
Well,
and everybody assumed it was Miami.
Yeah.
Well, it was like Tennessee and Miami were the known teams that were in the mix for Ty Simpson, and then the figure came out and I was like, oh, they offered that. This story that came out today was actually more so Ty Simpson talking on David Pollock's podcast, and he was actually revealing that he talked to Nick Saban about like his situation because he said like when I got offered $6.5 million, this no longer became like a no question decision. I'm going to the NFL. It's like when you hear $6.5 million, like I'm the highest paid player in college football. That's something that I have to sit down and think about. So he calls Nick Saban, and he said that Nick Saban basically boiled it down to, what do you want to play pro football or do you want to play college football? Like take money out of the equation. What do you want to do? Do you want to play at the college level again? Or do you want to go to the NFL? He said, I want to go to the NFL. He's like, well, then there's your answer. Like, money shouldn't be the deciding factor in here. Like, if you want to go to the NFL, you need to go to the NFL. You don't need to keep playing college football.
Did you see the developments today?
I did. Yeah, you told me about this. I did not see this.
So it was minus 250 for the Cardinals to take one of the defenders at the 3 overall slot. Now it's Ty Simpson minus 200 to the Cardinals at 3.
Oh, boy.
Jeez.
Dan Orlovsky's going to be hell on Friday.
You mean Thursday?
No,
Thursday?
because if it happens Thursday, the
Oh,
Friday.
he'll be hell.
dude,
He'll be
it'll be
hell on
live
the
reaction.
broadcast.
Come on now.
Probably.
He'll be
Yeah,
Mel
you're
Kiper Shadur in that thing.
Wow, I forgot. Oof, that was crazy.
But no,
Bro,
I mean-
he's doing it again.
Yeah.
Mel's acting like he's pulling receipts on that take, by the way. So-
Already?
Yeah, when this Ty Simpson thing came out, Mel Kiper was asked his thoughts on it, and he was like, hey, if Dan feels that way, he's got to stick to his guns. If he'll probably end up right like I was with Shadur.
What?
Yes.
Bro.
Yes. One too many pumpkin pies in the morning is what that sounds like.
Yeah, this is not an NFL draft show, but if you think Shedeur Sanders has vindicated his 5th-round draft spot.
Your name might be Josina Anderson?
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here. Like,
Yeah, the $6.5 million at the time, I would have been like, damn, dude, might need to take that. But now, looking back, he might make $35 million on Thursday night.
yeah, no, for sure. And by the way, won't be hated doing it.
No.
He would be ripped apart.
Oh, God.
And that's kind of why he said he didn't go. Like,
Yeah.
why would I affect my legacy with this fan base, this team that I've spent 3 years on, and for a paycheck when they're going to all feel like I turned on them? I'm going to be public enemy number one. Like, Ty Simpson kind of did this the right way, so shout out to him.
Speaking of quarterbacks who battled through injury last year, have you seen this Garrett Nussmeier story?
Yes.
So apparently it was discovered throughout the draft process that he had a cyst on his spine or in his back that was creating an oblique nerve tightness that created the pain in his oblique throughout this year. That cyst, did I read it was being removed?
Yes,
they're going to take
yeah.
care of this.
Yeah, they're going to try and take care
They're
of
going
it.
to try to take care of this. So here was my general thought and general takeaway. All right. And this applies to, the Jackson Smith and Jigba story where come to find out he's wearing cleats that are a size and a half too small. Like this goes into all of these categories. Football coaches, listen to me now. Administrators, listen to me now. You are spending millions, lots and lots of dollars on these football players. LSU, for example. Hell, your football team alone is going to spend about $200 million this year between buyouts, new coaches, roster, all of it. Almost $200 million. Whatever medical machine, whatever medical technology that the NFL has that you do not, that discovered your star quarterback, who I would assume you paid $3 million last year, had a cyst in his back. Whatever they have that you don't have, you got enough money, you need to go get it. Same thing for you, Ohio State. Whatever the Seahawks have to data map and body scan Jackson Smith and Jigba to know that he's wearing shoes a size and a half too big that make his hamstrings too tight, you need that. You're about to give that guy $900,000. You need that. My God. Blew my mind.
Yeah, the latter one is a whole lot easier to solve, that's for sure. Like, one, how are you as a person not aware that you are wearing too big of shoes? That would be my first question. Number two, why are we not measuring kids' feet in general to make sure that they are wearing the proper shoes?
Am I still doing shoe size incorrect? I do half a thumb to the top of the toe.
Well, I would just say
Like a half a thumb?
if it's
Just
comfortable.
want some room in there?
If it's comfortable, it fits. Like,
Yeah.
If your feet's not sliding around, if you can comfortably slide it into the shoe. I think
Jordan,
you're
I'm a
good.
half size down because they just look like boat shoes anyways. So if they hurt my feet, that's fine as long as they don't look huge.
But yeah, I mean, certainly would like to know like how LSU or any college football
All
program
of them.
could improve upon that, because
All
that's a
of them.
huge deal. That is massive for a player to be dealing with that throughout a season and you not have any idea why.
I mean, y'all got $80 million indoors with all the medical equipment in the world. You can take MRIs in-house. Like, y'all have all this stuff. Whatever they found, y'all need to find.
Yeah, dude,
because we can't be having that.
Foot Locker's got some good technology, I think.
Mm.
The shoe. When's the last time you had your feet measured?
The last time I was waiting for someone to bring me a pair of shoes at the Dick's, and they had that metal foot slider thing on the ground.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fat wide feet. Yours truly. Brooks, what the hell are you saying? I'm talking about protecting our investments is what I'm talking about. I don't know why you're confused. Are y'all confused?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Just making sure. We good?
We're good for
We got a whole nother hour, and it's a great hour. See you on the other side. We got Super Chubs. Hold on. Stay right there, Kirby. We got Super Chubs. Let's hit these. Marcy Rian says, somebody get Kirby some steak / keeping the boys paid.
I would love a
Hell
steak.
yeah,
Thank you,
Marcy.
Marcy.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Marcy.
Appreciate you. Hawthorne, man, a lot of love for Kirby tonight. Kirby's haircut is top notch. I was going to give you a compliment,
Thanks.
but
Got
you
it
know,
this morning.
yeah, it looked fresh. I can tell. That's
Thanks,
fresh
everyone.
out the chair. All right, we have a fresh another hour coming up for you right after the break. See you on the other side.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network. It is our loaded, Local Hour. We have our full G-Day reactions here on the show tonight. Got film notes from the first half of the G-Day film breakdown. Maybe a roster check tonight. Don't know. May or may not get there. And tons of, categories to go through from G-Day. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, telling a friend as we start this here Local Hour. Let's start with the Zachariah Branch news. I've retired from topics of driving, but this is not driving.
Yeah, this is unprecedented.
This is unprecedented. I have two thoughts, and I'll leave them at this, and I'll let you guys go. One, that cop, based off my reading of the reports, was a tryhard. Number two, I've never once shrugged and smirked at a cop that asked me to move. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have loved to have seen how this situation played out in person, because there's realities of the cop saying, hey, could you please move? And Zachariah doing that. There could be realities of him yelling at him, hey, move, because I've seen how cops can be in large areas when they're trying to corral lots of people.
We're barking orders.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are not the most some of them are not the most de-escalated, not saying all of them, so it very easily could have been that. I think that the fact that the narrative is kind of spun, and this is a reality that the ACC our Athens Clarke County Police Department has to face, is that there is kind of a narrative that they are out to get Georgia players. There's kind of a narrative that the fans believe that no matter what happens, it's just the Athens Clarke County has it out for them. When you arrest someone for realistically standing on the sidewalk, it becomes very hard to beat those allegations and have these taken seriously. Now, there are certain instances where we've talked about probably, a dozen or so UGA arrests where, hey, you go to jail if you do these things. And I understand that if a cop tells you to do something, you should do it. This is one of those situations where it becomes very hard to defend the lawful side of it, this probably could have been de-escalated.
For sure.
That's my entire take on this. Is I don't want to get into the details of who is in the right, who is in the wrong, whatever. The wrong part of all of this is Zachariah Branch being arrested for this. That's my entire point. I don't think we had to take Zachariah Branch to jail because he wouldn't move off of a sidewalk. I think that could have been handled a whole lot differently. I think it's a waste of resources. It was certainly a waste of time. Shouldn't have been a story to begin with. It was made a story, whatever. But again, should have just never been arrested, in my opinion. Again, not saying the cop did anything wrong, not saying Zachariah Branch did anything wrong, but should have never been arrested. That's my entire take.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think it should be acknowledged that, hey, we are 5 days away from our life changing forever.
Yeah.
Let's not go downtown, Zach, right? And that's not me saying that's an indictment on what he should be doing or me scolding him, but this would not have happened if you're not downtown. And it wasn't 2:30. It wasn't
this
the wee
wasn't
hours
3
of
o'clock in the morning.
But
This
still,
was 12:30 at night.
We probably don't need to go out.
Which 12:30 at night in Athens is 9:30 in most places.
No, you're exactly right there.
That is standard ops out there.
I also think we should note that I would be shocked if this has any effect on his draft stock.
No, I wouldn't think
Oh,
so.
somebody texted me, how many millions did he cost himself? I'm like, maybe a couple 100,000.
He might.
I checked
that.
mock drafts today, and they all still had him in the third round, second round.
If anything,
range.
I thought I thought the internet looked at this so that's what Georgia players have to deal with.
Yeah.
That was a general consensus here. I
saw one tweet that was is this the first instance where arrest has helped your draft stock? There are people in droves are coming for support of this.
Yeah.
So definitely a weird situation.
I saw one draft Twitter guy was willing to block Ted. Again.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
He's great. That tweet was funny. All right, do y'all want to talk about the spring game actually now?
Yeah, let's
do it. I got film notes. You want me to dump this clip?
Yes.
Let's do it. Over 10,000 people have watched that already today. We released that about 12:30 this afternoon. So you guys are competing now. I do want to say this. I'm not putting this out here to kind of tease Georgia fans or anything like that, because Lord knows this stage and this program loves the dogs. All right, especially these two guys over here being alumnus and graduates.
That's right.
But I will say this. Y'all better not let other fan bases come for this network, because they're coming for this network. They showing up on film studies in droves now. All right, so I would be competitive. If I were a dog fan, I would take ownership of this platform, and I would make sure that every time there's a film study, that joint bangs. And it's banging right now, so that's good. Good job there. I'm just going to let you know. We got the number one film study on this network of all time is an Alabama film study. I'm just gonna say, don't next time you call me Bama Brooks, just know it's business.
You hear that,
it ain't
Georgia?
personal. It's business.
You got to lose to Alabama now. or better yet, lose to Vanderbilt, and then we'll all congregate to the film guy network to see what went wrong.
To be honest with you, I've covered this beat for 8 years. I don't think that one would bang.
Yeah.
I don't think Georgia losing to Vandy would be our highest rated film study ever. Alabama losing to Vandy was. And I think they were trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
yeah,
I think Georgia fans were just tweeting into the abyss.
To be fair, I would say that I think a big part of that had to do with the fact of that was a new Alabama era. That was Kalen DeBoer, whole new offense, new things. They wanted to see why isn't this working. Like if Kirby Smart lost to Vanderbilt, yeah, people are going to shun away from that one. If you got a new coach at Georgia, and it's like, all right, well, let's figure out what the heck is going on.
Somebody put 9-10 Cooper in the penalty box.
Yeah,
Someone go sit that man down. Put that man in the penalty box. What is that? Penalty box. 9-10 Cooper. Hey, matter of fact, alcohol to the name on the board. I'm just kidding.
Take it off.
Let's get into these film notes, boys. We watched it today. It was good stuff. I thought Chauncey Bowens showed signs of being a really, really, really special. Obviously, Dowdell flashed a good bit as well, but Bowden or Bowens rather was twitchy. He was springy, tough to tackle. On top of the fact that he's 225 and runs 10.6. I'm really, really excited to see what this guy can do with 15, 16 totes a game.
This is so weird, and there's no science to this. He looks faster with a single-digit number. Is it?
You know, I will say this. Looks better in 5 than I thought he was going to.
He looked good in 5.
Yeah.
5's not typically like a single-digit number.
Did he get thicker, too? He looked bigger to me.
And like, let's like to recall back to like the last versions of Chauncey Bowens that we saw last year. It was probably not 100% healthy Chauncey.
Very
correct.
To be fair, so like I think that what we saw Saturday is pretty much what I remember him looking like when he played at Alabama last year in the regular season.
Yes,
that looked like that Chauncey.
Absolutely. Leaving the game, I'll be honest, I was concerned about wide receiver play just watching it on the sideline. Wide receiver play in general, explosivity, being able to drive the ball down the field, because we know that is the ultimate like last infinity stone for this offense. But going back and looking at it on film or on TV copy, the immediate problem that Caden Prothero is going to present to defenses, I did not expect, and that is real. I think that's going to be real all year long. I think he's got a chance to be a 750-yard receiver, like as a true freshman, as a slot receiver. And I never projected that. It was one of the biggest questions I had about him coming out of high school is what position are we going to play? Early on, we got an answer. He's going to be a dude at wide receiver, it looks like, at least from a problem, especially in the red area and just general big body possession, big body bends opportunities, which we know this quarterback thrives in. This quarterback, if you give him a body, he'll put the ball on it firmly, and was impressed with the hands, too. We plucked the ball really well on Saturday. Dandridge, it looks ready to me. We did have a couple of balls that fell off our fingertips. One was on one of those false starts. Got to stop that, Joseph Jonah Ajonye. Offsides penalties. And then we had another one that I can't quite remember that felt like it fell off our fingertips.
I think it was a low ball.
Okay.
I think it was a low ball they tried to get and just couldn't get there.
Yeah. Either way, it looks like we're going to be an explosive option on top of the fact that Taylor is going to be that. Now, we got to stay healthy. I didn't like the idea that all spring I've been hearing like, hey, it was kind of like dealing with nicks and scrapes and things. We're not hurt, but we're not injured, but we're hurt. We're like, today my hand a little tight. Tomorrow my hip kind of hurt. Like we're not a huge guy. And we practice physical. We take a lot of reps at the University of Georgia, so you're going to get exposed to contact quite a bit. And even on the first play of the scrimmage, we're tagging off on kickoff.
Yeah.
He kind of falls down, fumbles, and then gets up limping and kind of walks gingerly the rest of the day. Has one catch, but it's an explosive catch.
Yeah.
And I think if he has 30 of those this year, you're good. You got what you needed out of Taylor.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to – this might make some Georgia fans shudder, but it is like not even just from a what he could be for you standpoint, but just from a what you hear – it is very reminiscent of what Arian Smith was. There was a time where it was like, man, this Arian Smith guy, if we could just get him healthy consistently, he will do incredible things. And when he was on the field, he was explosive as hell. But like then from 21 to 23 was like, man, if he can just stay healthy consistently.
Arian could do this for 3 years, and then the 4th year we figured out how to stop.
For sure.
Taylor can run routes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's a receiver.
Right, and I'm not
a
trying to
track guy.
diminish
But from a health standpoint, you are correct. I mean, it was Arian, it was like, got to get this guy to stay on the field, and if we can, he'll be there. We also know how big of a deal it is to block and be physical at the University of Georgia. He's got to get on that, but hey, he is going to get paid to be explosive, and he can be explosive. That was good to see on Saturday. No Zakovi, no London. I thought Landon Roldan seems winnable already in year 2, and that's good to know.
Landon Roldan had a very impressive catch.
Yeah, we are playable in year 2. And that's a win from a recruiting standpoint. It's good player identification and a good nab out of North Oconee. I think that kid was going to end up like Kentucky, or something like that. So good steal right there. Tried to double down with Dallas Dickerson. We'll see if that ends up playing out. Offensive line felt deep as we expected it to be. Kirby said after the scrimmage he wants 9. I wrote down these names. Count them out. Drew, Bobo, Ernest Green, Donnie Glover, Juan Gaston, Ja Jackson, Zakai Helton, Cortez Smith, Malachi Tolliver. I got to 8. As I think those guys are winnable. You can go to bat with those guys right now and not have to worry about them.
Did you have Ernest Green on that list?
I did.
Okay.
The 9th, the question, I think, can we get him to that point by August, is Ekene Agboko, which I haven't gone close enough to pay attention to what it looked like on Saturday. But the spring intel was really, really good. Elijah Griffin and Valdon Sohn are going to eat. I think they're going to be really, really good football players immediately, especially Valdon. Like that needs to be there. We kind of expect Elijah Griffin to be a difference maker this year. If Valdon can pop, you're going to be good, because I think Joshua Horton and Xavier McLeod are really, really good football players. They're high-end, high-caliber football players. I wouldn't say high-end starters, but they're damn good. Xavier McLeod might enter that territory of high-end starter. He looked good.
You had field level access. Me and Jay were talking about this from the press box. Did he gain weight?
No, I just think it looks better.
He looks better.
He looks better.
He looked better.
In fact, I would have went the other way.
He looked bigger from
maybe this way.
Yeah,
but we've gone inward on the tummy.
I don't know what it was, but it was just maybe again it might have been our perspective from way up in the tippy top of Sanford. But for some reason, I was like, he looks bigger than he did last year.
Oh, he's a presence in there for sure. Braylon Conley and Jonte Gilbert being cornerback 3 and 4 is kind of scary from a depth standpoint.
Why?
Like scary good.
Okay, I was like
yeah, you
that's
trip
3 and
people
4.
up with that one
I did on the
day.
Patreon nugs too, or in Discord. Yeah, like that is kind of wild. The idea that those guys are 3s and 4s.
I don't want to spoil some of the other things that we're going to talk about, but like, from the word go, like all that was said throughout the day was me and Jay were, and everyone else around us was like, these guys are playing great.
Yeah. Here was my last kind of film observation, and then I got some weird things that I think only I care about, but I'll talk about them anyways. Banged up football team.
Yeah.
Nate goes out snap 1. Ellis didn't play. DeMello didn't play. Zayden Walker didn't play. Jordan Hall didn't play. Gabe Harris didn't play. Drew Bobo didn't play. London Humphreys didn't play. Sokovie White didn't play. Raylan Wilson didn't play. Amaris Williams didn't play. That's 11 guys that are, quote-unquote, in the starting rotation apart from Zayden Walker. 10 of those guys will be playing this fall.
Correct. And I think that might honestly just be a testament to how cautious they were. And some of those guys did have lingering injuries from the spring. But, like, Nate, if it's a Saturday in November, Nate probably finishes that football game.
I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody is not 100% in that running back room this fall, don't let them play.
Yeah.
You got plenty of dudes that need touches.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like if we're in this position, if you need them, they would have gone. And that's kind of always been the MO for Georgia.
And the difference, too, with this year's running back, and this isn't a discredit to last year's running back room, but like you were deep last year, I would say, at running back. But this year, it's a different story in the sense of, so like when Chauncey Bowens was out, it was, okay, we still have Nate and Josh McCray, but Josh McCray and Cash Jones were specialty package felt like type guys. Like certain scenarios,
not
they're the right
feature backs.
fit. Not feature backs. You could run with Dante and Nate or Chauncey and Dante and even throw in some Bo Walker and Dwight Phillips, and you'll be fine. Like if one guy is out, it's not like it's in the right scenario we can put these guys out there. Like, no, these guys can go out there and play.
Here's some development / random things I noticed. Cortez Smith played really strong. And as last year as a freshman, I thought that was the only like we were aware, we knew what we were doing. I felt like play strength was the only question.
They ran him with the ones, didn't they?
Yes. So he played center with the ones. He's going to get reps at guard when Drew comes back.
Okay.
But yeah, those two guys. Now him and Tolliver, according to Kirby and according to sources, played some guard this spring. This fall they'll really get to play guard.
Yeah.
Because they won't be rotating as heavy at center because Drew will be back.
All right, here's an interesting
what's up?
question. What would be more important for them to get reps at? Center, because you need the experience there, but obviously your guy's going to come back when Drew Bubba's healthy. Or it'd be more important for them to get guard reps because that's something that they necessarily haven't had tons of experience with.
To me, I think playing center is harder if the center is in control of calls.
Okay.
Now, some of these guys as young centers, they let the guard call it. Like, I think there was a situation last year where Juan had to play next to somebody because that person was giving him calls. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't remember what game it was or what situation it was, but I do remember that. But I've been asked, like, why is he playing there? And that was the answer. Hey, we need him to get calls from him. So it depends is what I'm saying. But in my opinion, harder to play center, more things going on. Physically more demanding to play guard.
Makes sense.
Harder to move 3-techs than get around shade techniques. This is really goofy. Really goofy. But Joshua Horton's burst to the ball, his retrace, was noticeable. Okay? And what it showed me was a guy that knows what's coming. Do you know what I mean? Shows me a guy that knows, oh, crap. This Valdezone kid's really good. This Elijah Griffin kid's really good. Jordan Hall's going to get back at some point. I got to earn and stay with my keep. And he played like that. You could see that on film. It was noticeable to me. His retrace and his burst to the ball was palpable. I felt it was that way last year with him too. He's a high effort kid.
He's a very high effort kid. That's exactly what you want to hear, and that's the FPE that they look for instead of the, well, it looks like these guys are going to eat into my reps. Let me hit the portal now. Obviously, you can't hit the portal in spring anymore, but it's rather better than you have that than the guy who's checked out because they don't love me anymore.
The other thing that is noticeable about some of these offensive linemen and line of scrimmage players is Zakai Helton's conceptual awareness. He understands where the play is going at all times, and he understands how to best position his undersized body to make you have to run through him to win. And that's so vital nowadays when people are slanting, stunting, rapping, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And he knows, okay, what was a shade tech just became a 3-tech. We're climbing up, but he's really mine. I've lost my tackle. My tackle's leaving. I need to sit right now on this 3-tech and just kind of absorb this and kind of shade him off from the ball carrier. That just savviness and being 18 and being 17 or 30 practices, however many we are, into our college career to already have that is really, really impressive. On top of all of the nastiness that we've heard he plays with. I didn't necessarily see it, but it's hard to pay attention on TV copy. But you can see this kind of almost like angle awareness that he's got about himself. And it's one of the most important things about an offensive lineman. Core strength, the ability to maintain your spine angle, all right, hands, feet, and just general conceptual spatial awareness.
Yep.
Knowing how to keep my body in front of somebody else.
Very important.
Gunner's demeanor seemed really, really calm. Okay.
The overall demeanor of the team felt that way, honestly.
Yep. And here's a goofy example. Again, things that I look at, I don't think anybody cares about. But if you pay attention to his first snap when he's running out to the huddle, he's got his helmet like on the top of his head, like he always does. It's unclipped. He's so calm and so just going through the motions, unlike he was last year, where I felt like everything from him early on almost felt robotic and so buttoned up. He felt like he couldn't mess up. He's got his helmet on top of his head and very clearly forgets to put it on until you can see that the helmet comms are coming in through the ear holes, and he kind of like spazzes and snaps his head down to get his helmet on real quick and then buttons it up. And then you watch the offensive huddle, and it just looked like a very calm, I've done this 1,000 times type of operation.
That's what I was going to say. It's probably the difference in – now, like last year, I think pretty much everybody knew Gunnar Stockton was going to be the starter, but there's still that – feeling in yourself in Gunner's shoes last year where I got something to prove. I still have to prove my worth here to the fan base, to the coaches, to my teammates, because it's been a game and a half that I've done this, whereas this year it's Gunner's a guy. I know I'm a starter. I've done this so many times. This is my 4th or 5th spring practice with the team. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, a whole lot more comfort to him.
The ball. What were you gonna say?
I was just disappointed in him.
Oh, the ball placement was elite. I mean, it was on point. I mean, we didn't see a ton of Gunner, but
I was gonna say,
I felt like the operation and the ball placement was top notch.
He quietly had a fantastic day. I felt like there was never a moment where it was like poor decision by Gunner. There was never a moment where it was like, he hasn't added that level to his game. Like, from what we saw, the throwing motion looks even more crisp. He looks more comfortable in the offense. So I know you only got 14 pass attempts out of him. So
I feel really comfortable after watching that he's going to take a step. The question now is going to be how big of one.
Oh, yeah.
Like how much better do we get when the real bullets start flying, which we know that's his best trait. When he's actually playing football, when he's allowed to be a football player, not a quarterback playing in a simulated scrimmage. So that'll be interesting to see. All right, those are all my takeaways and takes. Let's go to your categories. What do we got up first, J-Will?
The first one we have is biggest winners of the day. I'll start this one off with a very obvious one. Jaden Riddell, a resounding win for Jaden Riddell. You know, it's always good when you're going through spring practice and as a fan and as an outsider, you're just hearing intel, like you have no idea what's actually going on at practice, but you're being told constantly, like, hey, Jaden Riddell is having a great spring. He's making big plays, very explosive. Georgia's really excited about what he can do this year. And then that's actually reciprocated in the spring game. You're seeing it live, him making big plays and getting these inklings of maybe what they saw behind closed doors. It's such a confirming feeling knowing that that's probably actually going to hit like they think it's going to. But a huge day for Jaden Riddell, and good for him. Year 3, waited his turn. It's time for him.
The rare combination where we confirm spring practice habits and spring practice intel with what they did in that game.
Yeah.
He's a massive winner for me from a standpoint of, and we talked about this in the film study, I said going into it, one of my biggest questions was backup quarterback. My other question was, where's the yak? Because we know you're going to get blitzed. We know you're going to get manned up. We know teams are going to get after this quarterback. All right, so we watched all year long last year. We know it's going to happen again this year. That's why you became such a heavy screen team. So you're going to need somebody that can get the ball now and go do something with it. The answer is resounding, Jaden Riddell. Now, I think we would have found out something about Zacoby White-Helton, but that's shoulder injury. I don't know if y'all saw him at G-Day, but that left arm or right arm, one of them is hanging. Like we definitely have a shoulder problem.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off Jay Wells' winner of the day and just say Todd Hartley in general. Jaden Riddell had a great day, but I don't think there was a tight end in that room that didn't have a play or two where it's like, oh, damn. Like you had Elias Williams, Jaden Riddell, Lawson Lucky, always a big impact guy. Ethan Barbour seems healthy. So it's like it every time that this team walks on the field, it kind of cements that, oh, he's the best in the country at being at that position.
No disrespect to this player, but Colton Heinrich had a one-handed catch and an explosive play in the scrimmage.
Dude.
Colton Heinrich had the biggest explosive of the day.
And
one hand sticky, almost went for 50.
Again, that's no disrespect to him, but a guy that's not really mentioned in the room that has been here for multiple years, has been around for a long time, and he's making big plays. So, a big win for Todd Hartley for sure.
And he might have called some plays on Saturday. Let's see. Craig Dandridge, I thought Pro Throw was a massive win on Saturday. That's a win for the scouting department. That's a win for Todd Hartley. Do you think James Coley has to buy him a Christmas present? Probably got to buy him something, right? You delivered a diamond to my room.
You're right. You're right in the sense of this one was a Todd Hartley land, but by the end of the career, it's going to be, look what James Coley did.
Look at what James Coley did with this high school tight end.
Yeah, you're right.
This 6'6", 230-pounder that was raw coming in. Look what James Coley did.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to buy him anything now, but when he's drafted, definitely got to buy him something.
Wasn't Tyler Simmons the tight end originally as well and transferred to wide receiver?
Tyler Simmons?
Tyler Simmons was onsides. And no, he was like 5'11". I hope he wasn't a wide receiver
coming into Georgia.
Or a tight end.
For some reason, I thought he was a tight end. Either way. What do you have for winners?
Dwight Phillips had a big day as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully this continues to be consistent, I should say.
And Jackson Dollar was in town. Todd Hartley, his number one guy in town.
Todd Hartley was the biggest winner from Saturday.
Huge winner. Big dubs.
Yeah, going back to Dwight Phillips, hopefully this is something that remains consistent. I think the most promising thing that you saw from Dwight wasn't anything that he did on the ground with like those. That was great for him. But the seeing Georgia motion him out of empty and putting him out at receiver, things that you haven't really seen Georgia do since James Cook and Kenny McIntosh, there might be something there. There might be something cooking there.
That burst off the line.
Yeah.
He had like a 20-yard reception in the game.
Yeah, I thought the most impressive thing was he clearly went out of the game. There's a sideline run on that reception. He gets hit hard out of bounds, and he grimaces, grabs his shoulder, comes out of the game. It's in like the first quarter. And he goes on to have tough carries. They gave him short yardage carries in the red zone. I thought they manufactured that on purpose to try to, hey, let's get Peanut 2 totes at this thing and allow him to kind of get these dirty yards. And that's exactly what he did. I was impressed by Peanut.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier during the film notes, but the cornerback room as a whole, big winners. Like, we walked into the season kind of like, hey, we know 2 guys, but we don't really know who's the third. Or now we have 4 guys that we feel pretty confident in. I felt like Jonte Gilbert and Braylon Conley had a really, really strong showing. They played the ball well in the air. They didn't ever get panicked. I mean,
no panic.
And tackling, by the way, both very willing to tackle. Strong showing from the cornerback room.
What other rooms do you think performed the best apart from tight end? The running back room had a good day.
I was going to say running back room.
The quarterback room, I thought, played well overall. I mean, there's good and bad moments at the position, but I would say, like we mentioned, Gunnar Stockton had a good day. I thought Bryson Beaver looked good for a guy that got on campus in January.
Yes.
I thought Hezekiah Millender showed promise for a guy that's in year 2. Kirby talked about how much he was able to grow a scout team last year because he's going up against first-team defense. He's had some big growing moments. I thought that Puglisi had a great deep ball. Like, there were good moments from all of them. I think that if anything, it showed you that this room has a lot of options that they can work with moving forward. I didn't think that any of them was like, oh, geez. I don't know if that's ever, like, that's completely unplayable.
Yeah, like you felt like you were watching at least one of these guys is going to take the reins in the future.
Yeah, one of these guys is going to win
the job. It wasn't like,
oh,
they're going to have to go in the portal in 27. Like, they don't have anyone.
I was wanting to know if they had the 2, and I don't think I got an answer.
No, he didn't get an answer there.
I don't think you got it. I don't think you were going to get it.
I thought 4 and 5 had better days than 2 and 3.
That's probably
but
fair.
I thought 2 and 3, like both the Ryans had the toughest assignments from a standpoint of if you really pay close attention. Pugga goes out there, goes 3 and out, and then has to wait through a long drive from Gunner in the ones, and then Montgomery gets in there and gets 5 or 6 snaps, and they sputter out and punt the football, and then Gunner and the ones get another long drive and kick a field goal, and now I get to run back out there, but 40 minutes have elapsed, and I've been sitting on the sideline listening to comms in the helmet. Like, how do you get into a rhythm?
You can't.
There is none. And Montgomery had very similar things going on with him. Montgomery had to go from he was flip-flopping teams. So we're not only just flip-flopping situations, flip-flopping offensive lines, flip-flopping coordinators in our head. Like, again, not making excuses for the 2s and the 3s, but that's what was going on. And, by the way, they're going against the dudes. Okay, so Beaver and Melender get to go in there and go against young cats, all right, and have fun. Right. Where the 2 Ryans are probably nutting up a little bit. That's pressure for those 2 guys.
And I went and looked at the stats, too. Over the last 2 years now with Ryan Puglisi, Georgia fans have gotten to watch 97 pass attempts from him over the last 2 years. That includes G-Days last year when he threw it 40 times at G-Day. That includes last season. That includes this year's G-Day. It's been 97 attempts that you've gotten to watch from him. And then Ryan Montgomery, he wasn't even healthy last spring. He was still rehabbing a knee injury. This is the first year for him at Georgia where, like, he's fully ready to go and actually getting to do some legitimate work in spring. So, you have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say that there obviously is some areas where everyone needs to get better, but it feels like the future is fairly bright there. Now, the immediate future, let's hope Gunnar Stockton doesn't get injured. That's always what you want, but I don't think that there's not an answer on Georgia's roster right now for the next quarterback.
I think if they don't feel good about it, the answer that is they're going to be in the portal in 27.
For sure.
So that's just a reality. That's a very important position. I also think that the reality of the situation is their quarterback outlook for the future got really, really screwed by that guy playing quarterback in Nashville right about now.
Oh, yes.
That screwed them not just in 26. That hurt them in 27 because they didn't know that they weren't going to have Curtis until basically December of the 26 class. which some 27 commits were already locked up
Pretty
by
much.
December of that class. So, like, really, really jacks you up when you miss alone. When you miss late, it really, like, 10x jacks you up. So maybe they learned lessons there. I don't know. There's nothing you can avoid there. You got to pursue top talent. I don't think they're going to shy away from that moving forward, particularly at that position. It's an important one. Biggest surprises? I know mine, and it's on all y'all's list, but I was not surprised to find out that Tyree Green's a good football player. That's not the surprise here.
Yeah.
The surprise is the idea that a 6'1", 200-pound high school safety and running back is going to go out there in G-Day his freshman year and be like, hey, y'all need a corner? Mm-hmm. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll go out there. Like, he has been talked about by not me, by Kirby Smart, in this category of Malachi Starks, in this category of KJ Bolden. He has been talked about as that, okay? Now, Kirby would always, like, half-heartedly talk about if we needed to, Malachi could go down there and play corner. If we needed to, KJ Bolden could go down there and play corner. And I don't doubt him at all. All that being said, they never had to do it. This guy did day one. Like, I'm going to walk out there, oh, you need a corner, I'm going to do it. And then afterwards, after our first spring scrimmage, our head coach, who is the best defensive back coach in college football, says to the local media, yeah, we'll just kind of find out where we're not good enough, and we'll play Tyreek there. What? The freshman, the 18-year-old? That kid's nuts.
Yeah, I don't think people fully grasp how rare that is. Like
It hasn't happened.
No.
We felt Malachi was going to be comfortable playing safety, so he played safety.
Yeah, like even like that was what I was thinking. Like Malachi Starks was very much a like, hey, play here and be great here, but
And then we'll cross-train you.
Now, do you think this is just me kind of speaking on Malachi and KJ's behalf? But do you think that's also because when Malachi Starks was a true freshman, Georgia kind of had a need at safety, so that's just where he played. That's your natural position. We need you to play safety. For KJ, there was a natural void kind of at safety for him to just kind of stick there. This year, I wouldn't say there's a natural void anywhere, but we need you at all of these places potentially.
Just the idea that we're talking about an 18-year-old as a
for sure.
As a hell, if we need a running back, just throw him back there.
Which I don't think you will,
yeah,
but
this kid was born after Matt Stafford played.
oh yeah, I know.
That's
It's
how
so
young
crazy.
he is.
It is. We're gonna see. Like again, he was a my guy. I could not have been higher on this football
Dude, the
player.
my guys are
And
hitting
I
this year.
that just bro, it was layups. It was the industry gave me so many easy cherry picking buckets on the my guys, dude.
Look, I was proud. I feel like the guy who goes to the casino and instantly wins $30, and he's like, "Dude, gambling's so easy."
Yeah.
Zakai Helton, first my guy I ever take. He's hitting. So
Hitting. Yeah, man. That the Tyree Green stuff that's the first thing I noticed because they're doing 7-on-7 warming up, and I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is. He took reps as a punt returner, a kick returner, a corner, and he came in as a safety.
Yeah.
All right, I think we raved on him enough right there.
I was surprised we didn't talk about this. We got end arounds to tight ends again.
Yeah, jet sweeps, little tight end jets,
Tight end jets to tight ends in a spring game, might I add. And it
banged.
it banged. It was
The arc release from Elias on that was bonkers.
That's what I'm more mystified by, to be honest.
Yeah, how smooth it like Darnell always looked lumbering to me. Always looked like it almost like it hurt moving. This kid looks smooth.
It had this split second where Elias is blocking one guy with his right arm and then just grabs the other guy and naturally transitions where he's blocking two guys at once for a split second and then just naturally goes to the second. Like, gosh.
The scariest thing to me was when he first extended his arms onto Zach Fort, and you realize how large this avatar is out there.
Yeah, dude, it's terrifying.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, if you're Zach Fort there, you're just like, oh, hell, damn.
I can't cut him. I can't cut it. I can't do nothing. I'm gonna run.
It's rep over as soon as a ball snaps. You
It's
can't
rep
touch him.
over.
You can't do anything.
He got me. There's nothing I can do.
Just run. Just
He got his
run.
lick back,
Run to
though.
the ball.
Zach got his lick
Oh
back.
yeah, he got his lick back a little bit later. I think we're into that category here a little bit in terms of surprise. I was really surprised with Zach Fort. Where are we at? Oh,
We're
no.
still talking
yeah,
biggest surprises.
Biggest surprises.
But we talked about Chauncey a little bit. That was a good surprise to see him. Like, there's
Yeah.
burst is there. Everything's there. He might be the best all-around back. Georgia
I wasn't
has.
surprised by Dowdle based off what we knew coming out of Kentucky. I knew he could be that. I was more surprised to hear like, oh, he's our short yardage back. I'm like, do y'all know what y'all got?
It's very
This is lightning, baby.
gets- I've
This
gotten-
don't need to be thunder.
Yes, I've gotten very conflicting like feelings on that too, because it's like, sure, short yardage is great, but this is a home run hitter.
Guys, I know he's 6'2", 230, but he also can take it 80 today if we give him
but
enough totes.
With the
not-
black team, he had a 28-yard rush, and then he goes to the red team, he has a 27-yard
He was the
rush.
most explosive back on both teams.
When's the last time we saw a Georgia running back hurdle somebody?
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, it's got to
I
be
mean, Swift in
Notre Dame.
against Notre Dame in 2019 's got to be
I
it.
feel like Nate's had like a semi-hurdle.
Right, but like I'm talking like cleared someone by jumping over them.
And it was smooth too.
Didn't miss a step.
Yeah, that's they need to figure out how to get him hot.
Yes.
Because that could be a 6 for 120 in a heartbeat. Player who took the biggest leap is obvious.
Jaden Riddell.
It's Jaden Riddell.
Dante Dowdell.
Huh? Dante Dowdell.
Jay Riddell definitely took the biggest leap. I think there's no denying that. I'll say this: Jaw Jackson for me. We kind of have spent the last 2 years of like, yeah, it looks great, but it's probably not going to be starter material. Jaw Jackson was with the ones on Saturday, and it looked good.
Yeah.
I didn't pay too much attention to the O line. It's hard to watch individually from the
It's
box.
even harder on TV.
Oh, I'm sure. So, but I felt like he had a good game. I felt like he had a strong performance. I felt like you walked away from that going, yeah, he's winnable. At the very minimum, he's a winnable player at that position.
Justin Green took a big leap this spring.
Yes, he did.
Sure
Anybody
did.
else?
I felt like Justin Williams was kind of natural, and this was the natural progression for him.
Closing speed on him is crazy.
Insane. It was kind of the natural progression of, hey, it's year 3 for you. CJ's gone, but the fact that Raylan was not there, and it was kind of like, hey, you're going to have to be the alpha leader of this defense. And yes, it was a spring game, but he stepped up into that role very well. I thought he played fantastic on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd say that pretty much covers biggest leaps for me.
I think there might be a world where, like, by week 3, it's 65 and 73 at both tackles.
You think they'd split him up?
You mean 64?
Yeah, John Juan.
Okay. I thought you
I think the 3 of them are going to rotate anyways.
For sure.
I think they're all going to play tackle, and I don't like the idea of it, but I think they're going to ask Juan to play both all year long.
Why is it that Georgia seems to like you always hear these
Freshness.
Is that what it is? Because you always hear these metrics of like, oh, this offensive line unit's 16th consecutive game together.
Yeah.
And Georgia does not do that by choice.
It's freshness and, like, building quality depth in the season is needed.
Yeah, I will say.
Stuff like that.
I will say.
I've always disliked it personally. I like the idea of your best 5 playing together, constantly being out there until one of them gets hurt, and then we patchwork from there. I feel like that's what that's what they do on Sundays.
Right.
But they pay them, but we're paying them now. You know what I mean?
And I will say, there has been multiple situations over the years where Georgia has had a guy get hurt in the middle of a game, and the guy they roll off the bench comes in and plays well. And I don't know how many programs get to say that about replacing offensive linemen.
Dude, the idea that he is a rich man with his hand out at the street light saying he wants 9 winnables. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you go around college football, buddy, and they're begging for 6.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, we don't even have 5. God forbid we take an injury right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the idea, I mean, he is, like I said, he is a rich man asking for more, just wanting 9 playables. Where are we going next? Y'all want to go player who impressed the most?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Go for it. What do y'all got?
I'm going Braylon Conley.
That's what
Okay.
I said as well.
Y'all both went Braylon Conley.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes. Like literally the first deep ball Gunner throws, it's like, ooh, Isaiah Canyon might make a play here. Braylon Conley perfectly plays that ball.
Did you see the vet move?
Yeah, we
We talked about it on the film study. Kirby, Isaiah goes to touch him first. And as soon as he does, Conley takes his outside arm, overhand swipes it, and pins it into his armpit.
Ooh, I did not see this.
So, like, if you look at it, Isaiah can't go up for the football.
That's what I was wondering. Like, why didn't
He can't go up for the football because we trapped his arm. And I said on the film, it's like I never thought of it as a corner or a coach, like maybe trying to develop a technique where if you touch me, you aren't getting that arm back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not PI. You dared to put your hand on me, and now good luck getting it back.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's a
smart.
vet move.
I think he was just generally also the biggest surprise because when you talked about transfers that Georgia was bringing in, he really wasn't one that many people were bringing up a whole lot. Like, wasn't one of these transfer additions where it's like, oh, they got him one. They got him one this year, and it's going to hit as soon as he gets here. Now, again, it may not hit immediately because of who he's going to have to play behind, but I'm sure he'll be rotated in. They usually rotate corners. And what he displayed at G-Day showed a guy that you're going to be okay if he has to roll out there and play corner.
Well, it's also in the lead up to it. It was kind of like, hey, USC guy, give him some time, let him learn the Georgia ways, let him get physical. And I'm sure that's still being ironed out as we speak, but it didn't seem like it was, oh, that guy, he's not playing Georgia's football right now. He's been playing a different brand. So I felt like he was perfectly fine in where he was.
I'm interested on what the future looks like at Star.
Yeah.
Khalil Barnes was out there, and then it was Zach Fort and Jalen Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was quiet.
very
Didn't really have to
not
do
not much going on playmaking wise at the nickel position on Saturday. I did see some stuff at from Khalil Barnes where it's like, you are so natural at playing football. You just get it. Like, just watching him drop into hook curls and understanding, all right, well, now 2 has become 1. Or, you know what I mean? Like, this has happened to me, so there's no more threats up underneath me. Now I can carry vertical with what has just passed me. In fact, I can turn and run because I've peaked the flat. Just like general, holy hell, look at the football IQ on this guy was obvious. And Kirby's like talked about it from the moment he walked onto the field. He's like, oh, I got it. This is good. We're good. We understand what's going on out here.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely was a fluid player. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, I want to see the opportunities for him to actually be a playmaker in this regard, because you knew he was a veteran savvy guy. So who else did I have that impressed me most? I'll put Gunnar Stockton on there again. Like, I think his performance is so underrated, because even we were like, yeah, we know what Gunnar Stockton is. We know what he is.
Yeah.
It felt like we got the best version of Gunnar Stockton on Saturday.
And I'd say, too, it was super confirming to hear that he mentioned that he has to get better at pocket awareness. Like, that was one thing that he felt like he had to get better at this offseason. That's not saying, like, oh, yay, our analysis was right. That was something that he needed to improve upon. But knowing that he focused on that as well. Like, he was aware enough, and the coaching staff obviously was aware enough. Like, if we can get better here, we can really start opening things up for ourselves.
Chase Linton had 3 or 4 moments where he flashed immediate ability to win, and not against slappies either. I mean, it wasn't like he was turning the 3s around. He turned the 1s around a couple of times.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. I thought JJA played a little better than what I expected. I have high expectations for that football player, though.
Yeah.
I felt like he played cleaner to me.
A little bit wide. A little bit out of control.
Right, but I felt like
it's the opposite of what he was.
Right.
I felt like he was a little slow to move last year. I felt like we were kind of thinking and then playing.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it felt more fluid.
Yes.
Now, mechanically,
Freer.
there's still some – yes.
Yeah.
Mechanically, there's still some things you can fix, but it felt like he went out there and felt like he knew what he was doing when he was on the field.
I still want to I keep falling for the Nasir Johnson thing. I just don't know if it's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
Is that one of your biggest concerns?
No. I think everybody knows my concern by now. It's wide receiver.
I think that's consensually everybody's
Yeah.
probably
It's
biggest
look,
concern.
and again, there's plenty of talent.
Oh,
Like
100%.
Prothrow and Dandridge showed that they could be something as freshmen. I just don't love the idea that I'm banking on, and it's going to sound like super down in the dump guy. I'm high on all of them, but like I'm going into next year banking on this right here. A transfer who is an underclassman who has 400 career yards, 2 redshirt freshmen who have, I think, a combined 7 receptions, and then a bunch of freshmen, and London Humphreys, and Jacoby White-Helton, who hasn't played.
Right.
All of which I think are really, really good football players. But I know nothing about what they're going to be for a 12-game sample.
Yeah, no, and even
even Thomas Blackshear's super talented.
Right. And even to that point you were having, like, me and Jay were sitting there on Saturday, like, there were a couple of plays where it's like, Colby Young probably catches that ball, or, that's usually a catch or something like that to that extent. So It's certainly a great concern to have, and I think it's still warranted. And you didn't see enough on Saturday to say, all right, they're going to be fine here. I do kind of wonder, though, with the insane depth they showed at the tight end room, with the insane embarrassment of riches they have in the running back room, can you kind of let the wide receiver room be a third emphasis on the offense now?
Kirby, they're going to get a lot of one-on-ones. They're going to get a lot of opportunities, I would imagine. If I were a defensive coordinator, that's the first thing I would do. I would load the box and I would blitz Gunner, and I would assume even if we flushed him, we could run him down. Because when he takes off scrambling for best and most yardage is when he gets vertical.
Right.
It's not like he gets outside of the pocket and runs for 30 yards.
Right.
It turns the angle and bends outside the numbers and gets down the sideline. That's not his style. In fact, when he gets outside the pocket, right or left, normally we're hooking up with somebody out in the flat. Keeping our eyes downfield. He does a good job of that.
I did think a nice surprise out of the wide receiver room was seeing how early Tyler Williams got on the field.
Yeah.
Right there in slot.
Yeah,
he
man.
might be the second man behind Sokovie.
Yeah. That was one of those. It's one of our categories of like biggest who is that moment. Like I know 13. I know Tyler Williams. I've seen him at practice. It was more of like wait a minute. Is that Tyler Williams running with the ones right now? It was. And I don't mean to say that about – it's just I haven't seen Tyler. I haven't seen Tyler play. Did he get a reception on Saturday?
I don't think he did.
But he's out there blocking his butt off, and he's earned the right to take one's reps.
And
so
again,
that was impressive.
A guy that was injured last spring that didn't get a whole lot of run his true freshman year. So maybe this spring it's really starting to click a little bit for him.
I know what my who is that moment is. Dude, Walter Blanchard, dunking. Absolutely.
You want to hear something crazy?
Dunking.
You want to hear something crazy?
About Blanchard?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me.
Please
Tell me.
share.
Been doing it all spring. been head topping the big boys.
Why has that not been in the Patreon?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't find out till one of the folks on the sideline told me when he did it. Because that motherfucker about cribbed. He about broke tackles and cribbed.
Bro, he was a shoelace away.
I'm saying, rocking 47.
Yeah.
Dude, he's the next Dan.
I'd think.
No. Stop. I remember in 2021 watching as a fan about to go to UGA from the stands, watching JT Daniels throw a deep ball interception going, oh, man, we're throwing interceptions to dude wearing 47. What is going on?
Little did you know.
Little did I know
did you know.
that would become a UGA legend within that season, Dan Jackson. So show respect to the dudes wearing 47 dunking on people in G-Day.
My biggest who is that moment was Zach Fort, and I think it is Zach. That's how everybody.
Zach.
I heard him say Zach in the stadium, so I'm gonna assume
the main announcer said Zach.
I'm pretty sure it was Zach.
Then he knows,
or at least the in press box PA
Mr.
announcer.
Fort.
Oh yeah, Mr. Fort.
Build it.
Yeah, when he stuck Elias Williams, I was like, who did that? Who's out there doing that?
I've never seen Elias Williams get tackled like. Now Elias Williams has had a limited rep share, but it's always been like, oh, he's slow. It looks like a tree, just slowly.
falls forward. All that. No, that was not the case there.
I watched the Mario movie, Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Zach Fort looks like Lil Bowser.
Interesting.
Look it up.
Interesting.
I know who
Lil
Lil
Bowser,
is.
Mario
Bowser
Galaxy.
Jr. I know who
That's
that
what it
is.
looks like. Big angles on Zach Fort, man. Big sharp angles on that guy. I bet it hurts to get hit by Zach Fort.
It looked like it,
looked
did.
like it did.
I don't want to be on the other side of that. That's for sure.
I feel like defenders have to have are the only ones who are allowed to have sharp angles. Offensive athletes aren't allowed to have sharp angles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the last offense.
Like Greg Blue can play safety. He can't play wide receiver.
I feel like Nate has pretty sharp angles.
Yes, he does. He has
true.
very sharp angles.
That's true.
But other than that, I can't really think of anyone.
Yeah.
What were you right about?
I don't know. I don't feel like I had any big takes going into this.
I didn't either.
I did want to know quarterback too. I don't feel like I expected Ryan Montgomery to have a good day, and he had an okay day.
He had an okay. He looked winnable at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you could say about the entire quarterback. I will say though, and I was right about this. For the getting off the bus and the who's this? Bryson Beaver turned a lot of heads on Saturday. Not because of oh my God, this build he looks like a Greek god.
Yeah, sources FOS on that. Source says Bryson Beaver looks closer to Ryan Puglisi than he does a tall, slender individual. He's a tall, slender individual.
We were out there, and it might be just the number 18, but it was like, JT Daniels out there? Like, and no offense to either of them, but
he was having the time of his life watching.
If he was JT Daniels, he would have had 3/4 sleeves and a hand warmer on in the middle of 90-degree weather.
That's so damn.
It's true.
It is true. That's so JT.
Motherfucker would have had hot hands out there.
Facts.
But no, I was a fan of Bryson Beaver
for multiple reasons.
But I was just
You're a fan for multiple reasons?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, it was fun. It was fun to watch.
Yeah. Christian was having the time of his life watching Bryson Beaver play football. I'll just put it that way.
I was.
Were you guys having shenanigans in the press box?
Dude, the press box was so empty.
Really?
I could have laid down on the desk and just been like,
Don't do that.
I did
do
joke
that.
to Jay. I was like, what if the SID walks in and just sees me laid across the desk? They'd be like, Brooks, we got kicked out of the press box. We don't know what happened.
We said that they were going to put us in the penalty box, and it's up at the top of the stadium.
I'll tell you what. This organization is the give them crap box right now. You know what I mean? Every SID department guy I gave was ribbing the hell up out of me. Ribbing me left and right. Oh, my God. I forgot. You covered the team. Huh, where you been? Type of conversations left and right.
We've been in. They don't say that to us.
Y'all been in the trenches.
Mm-hmm. They know.
They know us.
Any Tuesday,
back to back.
That's right. Any Tuesday presser, I'm there.
I enjoyed doing a walk and talk inside of Sanford with you guys,
Yeah,
even though
that
I
was-
had absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
None of
nothing.
us had anything.
It-
I
like,
had nothing until I
spring
went back
games-
and watched it.
Spring games are so hard to watch it take place and then immediately give reactions
Too
to
much.
Because you're like, who made this play? Who was doing this? What exactly happened? When did this happen? It's so hard to like feel the flow of the game.
Spring games are like chewing gum because it's like there's no substance to it at all, but you're just excited to finally feel like it feels so good to have this. We came into this expecting like we're going to be so excited. We're going to get so many answers on things, and we walked away. I was like, I don't know anything different
Like
about
a cool flavored Zen. Just nothing.
I can't
It's just
relate.
nothing,
I'm
man.
sure that might be.
It's just a pouch in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that might be a better comp. But like we walked away from this being like, don't really feel like we know anything else.
Any takes on crowd attendance? I'm not one of these guys.
I was gonna say I feel like it was a strong like the lore and the excitement around spring games. I feel like has kind of worn off just in general around college football. Georgia, I mean, it was not a packed crowd. It was not a full capacity thing. Like the lower bowl got majority full, but I was impressed. You know what I was impressed with mostly?
Mm-hmm.
Spring games, we know what they are. They don't really matter. By halftime of a blowout of a typical Georgia's playing the FCS team, the stadium looks like it did on G-Day. For what I saw, the fan attendance was pretty strong from quarter one to quarter four. Like, everyone stayed to see everything. Everyone was engaged the entire time. There was no, all right, at halftime we're going to the bars. Like, it was a strong, those who showed up stayed.
I'm over here trying to go through a top 5 DAPs from Saturday.
Who was your favorite new face, Kirby?
I put Dante Dowdell.
Yeah,
but
that's what I
we've
put.
we've talked about him a good bit. Like that feels like there could be really something special there of a 20. I don't want to do this because it's a legendary trio, but
It will be interesting to see how the season plays out for him because you get 1 year of him. I believe he only has 1 year of
Right.
eligibility remaining. So it'll be interesting to see where he fits into the fold, but you got to fit him in there somewhere.
Top 5 DAPs. Number 5, Nazir Stackhouse. It's good to see Stack on Saturday. Number 4, Dalen Everett. Good to see Dalen Everett on Saturday. Number 3, Michael Williams. Number 2, C.J. Allen.
I didn't know Michael was there.
He was. Number 1, any guesses?
Harry the dog.
Nope. Oh, that was an OLI. Got some hairy dog dap. Any thoughts? Any guesses?
Coach Smart.
Nah, I didn't dap up Kirby. Kirby walks by me like I'm nobody every time. And trust me, I try. I stare him right through the forehead.
You are to him.
I'm like, if you dare dart your eyes towards me, we're making eye contact, boss. No, number 1, Stetquavius. Stetson Bennett was in town.
Oh, dude,
Stetson Bennett was in town. We got solid daps. Little
I
bro
don't think
hug
we
dap
call him
hug.
Stetquavius anymore. You seen the hairdo? He's going.
Yeah,
He's
we're going.
back to old Stetson.
Yeah, we're going back.
He's
to
back
Stetson.
to. He's back to just mailman.
By the
Yeah.
way, How about this guy having main character energy at the end of the game?
Aura farming?
And having the audacity
To
to
aura
act like
farm.
he's about to trot into the locker room alongside Gunnar Stockton.
I was not.
I mean, as soon
Really?
as the game was over, Kirby makes a beeline to the middle of the field, and all of a sudden he's out there running with Gunnar and Nate and all of them back into the locker room.
You are
Main
Y'all really
character
trying to get us
energy.
in trouble.
You are
huh?
fabricating the hell out of this story right now.
You boys did get flicked up pretty heavy on
Oh, yeah,
Saturday.
we
Say
got
that.
some solid pictures.
You took a lot of pictures of us.
Yeah, y'all got flicked up.
All right. Anyways,
Hit me
what-
with them flicks, cuz.
What happened was, we've done this before. We've covered a lot of Georgia games. You know that the best place to be when the game ends is underneath the goalpost that heads into the locker room.
Yeah, that's right where I'm at every time.
So I immediately position myself there, and the players are all converging around me and walking around.
Big
Jay
daps.
Will over here, off to the side, standing all grumpy, arms crossed, because he's not getting any good pictures.
I would take a picture.
And so I walk over after everyone's in the locker room, and he goes, "Wow, you sure we're getting a lot of pictures there? You were aura farming." To which I facetiously go, "Here, yeah, take my picture," and go stand out in the end zone and lift
Aura
my
farm.
arms up like this. And then I look over, and Brooks is smiling with the camera
Sniping.
in his hand,
Yep.
taking pictures of me.
Sniping.
Yeah, you for real hit the Ben Wolk. You did. Ben
Yeah.
Wolk, Texas game, that's what you did.
Hey, shout out Ben Woke contract extension.
Yeah.
Big homie. Big homie. Y'all going to have to deal with the Woke for a while.
Yep.
It's not
Staying
dealing with it. That's
down.
enjoying it. Dude.
That's
I
what
love
I'm
that
saying. You get to deal with the Woke.
He's the best, man.
He is. He's goated. That's my guy. I saw him last night.
Dang, you
Ponytails.
doubled up on Wolk.
Ponytail was looking right. Tell you. That's a man bun. That ain't even a ponytail. That's a man bun. It was looking right. Blue suit. Had a red tie on. Man was looking right.
Ooh,
Atta
woke
baby.
in a suit.
Whoa. What I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, dude.
Good luck going to sleep tonight.
All right, maybe not that. Whoa.
Hey, just stay woke. Hey, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We got A&M film study. No live tomorrow. All right. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're getting breaking news. We are not live Tuesday. We will be live Wednesday with Kristen Miller in studio all 2 hours. See you next time.